Oh yeah! What's up, fuckers?
What's up?
Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, boys. I told you guys, I think I told you at least when I was booking it, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get you guys on Cinco de Mayo because, like, I got to get some Mexican homies up in here, man, right? You go, I'll bring my sombrero.
you got two for the price of one this time. Yeah. Just like, you know, and I want to start off by thanking you for the Coronas. Appreciate the hospitality.
Thank you.
I hope you don't keep these around just because it's Cinco de Mayo.
No, I did Corona, man. We drink them all the time, dude. It's actually, you know what's my favorite? Modelo. Yeah, man. I'm drinking the shit on Modelo like summertime. Little lime action. Ooh,
some Dos Equis, man. Big Dos Equis.
Dos Equis is good shit, too. Yeah.
You guys ever tried Tecate?
I've had it once, and it was so long ago I can't say if I like it. You got the patch right there, man.
I drink mostly that.
Nice.
Victoria and like Negra Modelo.
Ooh.
And a lot of Dos Equis.
Yeah.
Nice.
If you go to Mexico, you can find Indio, and I highly recommend you got to try that.
Damn. All right.
You might like, might not, but it's kind of like like that one thing. Either you like it or you don't.
Is it like kind of a light?
No, it's a dark. It's kind
okay.
of. Yeah.
Is the beer different? Because you always hear people and you get Guinness over in Ireland, like, oh, the taste is way different, like Tecate, Modelo, that kind of
I
stuff.
think there is a slight difference. There's a slight bite that.
Okay.
It's like the Coke, you know? The Mexican Coke is like way better than
Montezuma's Revenge, son. Coming
Yeah.
Don't drink the water.
That thing about Guinness, though, dude, that's bullshit. At least it is now. I think that was the thing back in the day, like, 30, 40 years ago or something. It was probably different. It was like a lot harder to get over here, so the distribution was different and shit. But now, I mean, I was there a couple, 3 years ago, and I was kind of excited about that. Like, they say it's like, it ain't no fucking different at all, dude. I think they shipped that shit so fast out of Ireland now.
Yeah, I was going to say the
States,
sketchy ass distribution path.
Yeah.
Back in the day, some kind of 4-month thing. The beer's all rank and stank by the time you get it.
For real.
Tasting like ass.
Well, Cesar, man, it's really nice to meet you.
Yeah, no.
We know a couple of the same people that kind of recommended you, from fucking, you kind of like a death metal dude.
Yeah.
Playing in bands for a long time. Are you a guitarist?
Guitarist, frontman, bass player. I do all three.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
And in my band, I do all three. For now, it's just I have a drummer, Steve Jones. He's on the drums, and then me.
What's the band?
We're called Fermented Plague.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And it's underground death metal, just old school 80s, 90s type stuff with a combination of a lot of thrash. I call it, we're kind of a death thrash.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new stuff out there, and I like it. Mm-hmm. But I'm sticking to my guns on this one, and we're having a lot of fun, and we've been just writing, working on music.
Fuck yeah, man. Bringing those riffs, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, I agree with you that, like, and there's also that kind of stuff it comes in cycles, and it's making a huge comeback. I mean, everything. I mean, even the fucking Metallica and the fucking Stranger Things and stuff. Like, to me, it's like, yeah, of course, Master Puppets. Like, well, you don't know Master Puppets? And these kids are like, I've never heard this. And I'm like, really? you know? Like,
you see those kids buying that shit in Target for irony or whatever. It's like, I grew up listening to this stuff, and now it's just like, classic stuff, some shit from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Same with hip hop though too, man. Like 90s is, the 80s has been this huge thing for, especially into 2000s and stuff, and The Weeknd is all very 80s based and whatever. So I mean that stuff, but now you can see the 90s influences even in metal, of like new metal and that kind of shit's coming back in a big way.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting to see those fucking it's like everything's always on this.
It's like
30-year
cycle.
Yeah. Yep.
You got to get it out of your system, and it's kind of your parents' shit for a while, and then when the next generation comes, it's like, all right, this has been gone long enough to be cool again and acceptable.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. That's definitely dope thing about music, it's gonna come back around.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna hate on the new stuff for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, like even the fashion now, everybody's rocking. They want the vintage wear. They want to dress like we did when we were like 12 and 13.
Baggy ass jeans right down to the ankle and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all coming back.
It's funny though, like you said, like buying fucking like a Metallica shirt at Target, and you're like, man, when Metallica came out, they were the most anti-establishment thing there was.
Yeah.
Like, and now it's like, oh, you could buy their shit through the biggest corporations there is.
Hetfield's got to pay those bills.
Yeah,
man.
I don't blame them. It's not them. It's the establishment.
Jet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking wild, man.
No, but definitely Cesar, man. I think you're being a little modest, man. I mean, he's been in bands for years, man. Ever since I was a kid, I can remember this guy, rocking out and having different bands and you know what I'm saying, doing stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Ice Pick.
Oh yeah,
man,
we used to.
He was back there, back in the legendary days of the Ice Pick era.
You used to play in a band with Dan Wheaton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know him a little bit, just like online or whatever. I know who he is and everything. Like friends online. It's just
we're still friends and we talk once in a while.
Cool.
And we were in a band for a while. There was a chapter for us to do something, and we learned a lot from each other as musicians. I was just the front man. He was the guitarist.
Okay, gotcha.
So I put the showmanship. He started writing, but then we went our separate ways.
Sure.
And today I picked up the guitar, but the one thing I can tell you, I remember a lot of things. I paid attention to what he was doing. So for me, it just came like, oh yeah. He said, I watched him do that.
Yeah, he's a sick guitarist, no doubt about it. Yeah,
so if you pay attention around, I picked it up. I always played the bass, but the guitar was the last thing I picked up.
So did you do you like to do like bass and vocal, like frontman and kind of like that thing?
Well, for us, for the band, what we're doing is just me on vocals and playing guitar.
Okay.
Steve on the drums. That gives us a bit of be available to play live like that in that format. I know I can hook a line from my guitar to the bass amp, and I would have something like that. Would have a bass sound. I'm still looking for a bass player. I have somebody that says he's going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see how true this is. But
so you're trying to fill it out. You're not trying to do like, we're a two-piece. Like,
no, we're looking for someone. We want to fill that spot, but for now we have to just keep going. So in the studio, because I am a bass player by nature,
right?
I do all the bass parts and figure all that out in my head and go there.
That'll kind of be, I mean, that's kind of a smart move too, because bass players, especially around here, they are a little hard to find, being honest. And so like if you do it all like that, and then you could probably be easier to find somebody to like fill in, essentially, be like, come do the gig, like learn the songs, do the gig. You don't have to commit everything to it, but like people want to do shows, so you could probably find, guys to like fill it in for you. But you can fucking write all that shit, and that way they ain't got to worry about writing it. They can just learn the parts real quick and fucking come in and do it.
Yeah, no. It's like I said, just keep going until we find that person. That shouldn't stop us. We might as well just keep going, and at least for recording and certain things, we can do it. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't play live for 10 years. I don't give a shit. I was still going at it, dude. Just writing songs. It's either in you or it's not, man.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's how I feel about it. Vocally, what kind of thing you doing? Are you like screaming, singing, a little both? Like
screaming, yelling.
Yeah.
I kind of do a combination of death metal and thrash metal. So
I picture you doing kind of a Slayer kind of vocal.
Actually, I do more like if you ever heard of like SOD and Anthrax, that type of kind of thing.
Okay.
There's a lot of metal bands in general that do the singing with the screaming. So they always do those too intense.
Yeah.
I wanted to go more for I'm not so intense, but I do scream and growl. But then I'm not so intense. But instead of singing, I want anthems. I want yelling. What we used to hear in the '80s with the punk bands.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a punk influence in me too.
Oh, for sure. If you're doing thrash, thrash is punk.
At times, your lyrics, I want people that I actually understand what I'm saying. So I let up from those screaming and kind of more of a yelling, more
like
a little more raw, just kind of diversify it up a little bit.
So gives
that's kind of like Slayer. I don't think I'm far off on my. I never heard you,
but in a sense,
Anthrax too, though. And
that was the influence for me was bands like Anthrax and SOD, DRI.
Yeah, even early Metallica was that. It's more of a yell, that's where a lot of that stuff
Old
comes
school
from.
Kill 'em all era.
Yeah, just kind of this like. It's not like a scream. Like we think of screams today as being this like, it's almost like a low volume, all fucking vocal fry, like wah scream, But like back then it was more like a yell or like, And I kind of dig that myself.
Well, I think really should look for some feeling. There should be some passion in the music. There's got to be like an emotion, a personality to what you're doing. So you can scream all you want. I mean, I've heard tons of bands and that's good. I love it. Yeah. But when there's so many more things, give a diversity to the song to move it up and down.
Yeah. Yep. And you can do like, I think the guys, I don't love screaming. I'm a singer. I don't love screaming all the time. But I think what a lot of it is just because it's boring, because they're always doing the same thing. When these great screamers, they're doing there's like a melody within the screaming, or at least there's up and down, and there's a dynamic to it.
They'll do it at a certain point where it was needed versus to the whole thing. Where you had that epic moment, and then they bring it back,
sprinkle
to
it in for
else,
effect rather than just that straight shot all the time. Yeah.
I think that is kind of one of the problems with modern metal, and it's why I don't love a lot of quote unquote modern metal, is because it's like, all right, you can do this one thing, it's like this vocal fry scream, but I'm like, I'm not hearing anything you're saying. There's no hooks, there's nothing catching me. So I don't know, I'm super into fucking Opeth and the like the European metal bands. That to me went in the direction that I felt, for me, was what I liked out of metal, was a little more that way, where the American metal scene kind of split into this really hardcore I don't know. That's my feeling on it.
No, you hit it right on the money, because it got the metalcore and deathcore, and that's okay,
And they all sound the same. It's boring to me. That's why it's never really resonated with me.
You saying that, I spend a lot of time on YouTube looking for bands, and I spend a lot of time in Europe.
Yeah.
Most of my favorite, and as a matter of fact, if you ever went to Mexico, you'll notice that in the metal scene, everyone's into the European scene more than the American.
Yeah. The metal scene in Mexico is fucking crazy, dude. As far as the fandom, dude, South America, man, they fucking love some metal.
You see a lot of Europeans go there. I've been to the metal festivals, and I was there recently, and you see a lot of Europeans that like it, and all the European bands will go there.
Especially I see you got the Maiden patch, the huge old school legacy bands like that. I mean, dude, they play fucking Mexico City. It's 80,000 or whatever, I mean, it's the deal, dude. The biggest crowds there are those fucking Latin American shows.
And see, that's where I got all this when I lived in Mexico as a kid. As a matter of fact, it was Iron Maiden. That's my favorite band. So seeing that, and then the thing is, today I have tons of friends. They're still into it. When I go there, we get together, we talk metal. There's a bootleg market where I go and buy bootleg T-shirts.
Nice.
Right.
Metal festivals, everything. So when I go there, there's all kinds of things to do, and I socialize metal when I go there, you could almost say.
Right, yeah.
Besides the vacation.
That's dope, because I don't know, you don't really think of if you think of Mexico on a pop culture level, metal isn't really the thing that pops up in your mind.
No, these guys were they used to think these guys were devil worshippers and sacrificing kittens and stuff like this. I mean, he's from the era of the big hair, long hair, headbanger, that type of metal, I would say, was
it's wild to think about, because when you think about it, it's metal should be kind of the biggest in Mexico. You got fucking the Day of the Dead and all that fucking the artwork and the skulls and everything that belongs to that is
it kind of is, actually. You will see it in some of the events, and a lot of people will do the makeup and things like that. They have done the skulls. I've seen it. There's a lot.
I love that aesthetic, dude. The Day of the Dead fucking look of the skulls and the face paint and I don't know, man, all of it. I fucking love that shit.
They have as a matter of fact, there's a death metal thrashy Aztec type band where they wear the makeup kind of, not so much like the Day of the Dead, more like the European black metal. And it's almost like their version of that, but they actually wear all Aztec gear, and they have people with the drums and all the sounds, the flutes that they do.
Right.
And no, that's how into it they're into it, that they're willing to do their own thing from their own, to bring out their own.
It makes sense, man. The Aztecs are fucking metal.
Heritage.
I got this thing. It's not hanging up yet. I got that at the fucking one of them pyramids out there. And then the other thing we got at was that skull right there.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was from the I'm terrible with the names of this shit, but it was it's the tallest pyramid down there, and it's toward the coast, and we climbed it. Koba pyramid, I want to say, something like that.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, it was one of those things, it's a fucking tourist thing, honestly. We went, but I'm so in love with the fucking ancient cultures of Mexico and the fucking.
You just went down there recently, or what?
When we were down there, so it was we were in Mexico. It was I've been to Mexico twice. So the first, and neither one of these are going to be very cool to you guys. The first time was on a cruise, and so it was the fucking island there that all the cruise ships go to off the.
So you went to all the tourist ships
off the East Coast, and then we went and did that. You know, we took the fucking. But I mean, we like chose to do that. I'm like, that was like, if I'm going on this, I want to see ancient ruins. That's what I want to see, you know. And it was a semi work related thing, the cruise, so that's why we got to go. And then we went another time for my buddy's wedding, and we went to Tulum. And so we did all the Tulum ruins and shit, of course, down there, which was like another reason. I was like, if that stuff wasn't there, I probably wouldn't have went to the wedding. You know, it was like, all right, I've wanted to see these ancient ruins and shit for so long, dude. You know, like
check that out.
And so I was fucking like, all right, this is kind of kill two birds with one stone. There's these ruins and shit are right there. I don't love how commercialized it is and shit now. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, no.
But fucking Mexico's dope, dude. I enjoyed it, you know. But like, I mean, you told that story last time, that crazy shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's where I went to was where he's actually grew up. He lived there for a big chunk of his life. But
okay.
I mean, dude, that city, and we were talking about it the whole way here. It's just like, man, it's just hard to describe, and I guess you just will not understand unless you're right in the middle of it. But just imagine, just everywhere you turn, there's somebody with some type of service or something that they could do for you, dirt freaking cheap. I mean, whether if it's you're hungry or, I mean, you need your clothes washed or, I mean, dude, it's crazy.
The street food down there is just ridiculous, man. It's better than shit you get the restaurants up here. Are so good across the board.
I mean, there's what are they famous for? The trompo?
In Monterrey,
yeah.
Trompo, and everyone's into the carne asada, that they like the grill.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
When you get to the city, you're going to smell meat, grilling chicken, pork, steak, and they do all of that.
Dude, we ain't doing it right in America on some of that shit, dude. Street food and shit, dude. There's nothing more that I want to experience than what you just said is when you get to the city, you're smelling meat cooking.
And like I say, you just walk and you can smell it, you see it, and then the prices, like for some basic things, it's anywhere. When it's one of the things that you're just buying like a sample or part of it, it can go from $1 to $5, and that's gonna be now. When I'm talking $5 to $3, you're getting the full course meal.
Yeah, dude, more than you can possibly eat.
You're not having to pay for all the bullshit overhead marketing stuff, which is what had
directly
cost,
from the person that
one
makes
guy
it.
down there throwing it down with his family or by himself or whatever, and just doing his thing. Yeah, exactly. Just
and so they cut all that out, and they still make a living. It's honest living, you know, and the food is very authentic. It's great. You won't get anything like that here.
How long were you down there for, and then what brought you up here?
I was born in Muskegon.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So
shout out to Muskegon.
Ski town.
We're all from Muskegon.
81, that's when my dad, before this, like in the mid-70s, he had planned to move back there. So he took me there, and we moved there in like 80, 81.
Cool.
And we had to go to school and everything. So I just learned everything. You can say there's probably very few kids like me, Mexicans that were born here, that had this experience. Most of them stay here.
Yeah.
They never go back. Some go on a vacation.
Yeah, sure.
But I stayed there for 10 years.
So what did you do? Like, how old were you then?
I was 6.
Okay, so you were born in Muskegon.
7, yep. And by the time I was 6, 7, we moved there.
Whole family moved back?
Yep.
Okay.
My brother, as just the two of us,
Yeah.
and then it's my mom and dad, and he had built a home down there.
Yeah.
We started living there, going to school, everything, and we just stayed there. We would come to Michigan every summer.
Oh, cool.
But then we would live the rest of the time there. So
it's a good move.
I always describe it to people. I'm kind of like that Dave Chappelle when he goes, ask a black dude.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing,
You're
because
like,
I lived in Mexico.
You're asking Mexican?
Yeah.
That's why you're on the podcast today, bro.
Here's your opportunity, guys.
Cinco de Mayo! Woo!
Gotta get all our ignorant white ass questions out there.
But
Figure out what's going on.
because I actually lived there that long that I know so much, and it's fun to me. I'm not. It's not a stranger to me. When I go there, it's like I'm back home. I was just telling him, I go there, I act like I live there, but because I know how to get around, I can talk to people. I know where everything's at in the city.
Yeah,
I understand how to do things.
What city? Where?
I'm talking about Monterrey.
Monterrey. Okay.
And it's right 3 hours from Laredo, Texas. When you get to go through San Antonio and you get to Laredo, and that's a border town, You cross and you can go to several places, but mainly it takes you directly to Monterey.
Is that on the ocean? Is that on the coast? It's inland?
It's a little more in
the middle
like
of the mountains,
almost, but kind of.
Yeah.
It's probably about a good 3 hours to the ocean.
Okay,
3 to 4
So
hours.
it's definitely an inland. It's not no coastal town or nothing. Yeah.
So when you first went down there, like, did they treat you like an American that was down there, or did they kind of?
No, I just, because it was my dad wanted me to live there, so people just treated me. I was one of them, you know.
That's cool. Yeah.
All kinds of experiences, all kinds of ups and downs. But my time there, I learned to speak another language. I knew everything. I tried food that nobody really ate here, and I understood a lifestyle that was different that we have here.
Yeah, yeah.
But in '91, I turned 18, and I decided that I wanted to come back here, and I came here because I figured, well, let me go to the States because I can go to concerts now, I can see things, and I wanted the experience.
Yeah,
and I had the citizenship.
Right, because you're born. Yeah.
So I came here and I've been here, but
so the whole family didn't move back.
No, just
back.
me.
Yeah.
Even though today we're all here right now.
Oh, cool. That's
because
awesome.
my parents came at some point.
Yeah.
They came up here to help me raise my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother's here because he works here for so many times, 5-6 months, and then he goes back. Stays with his family because he's married and has his daughter and stuff like that, and they live there. And
they're fortunate enough that they can do that, right?
Yeah.
So not everybody got that privilege. So for him to be able to come over here and be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go work for 9 months and then I'm gonna come back home and spend the rest of the time with my family and just chill out.
Yeah, it's cool to be able to kind of go back.
Some people
and
here,
forth.
they never get that. They never get the opportunity to go back.
Right.
It's kind of fucked up situation.
It is, man. And real talk, there's a lot of migrant fucking workers, in West Michigan's a huge area for it, man. And it's I don't know. There's a lot of fucked upness with that whole situation, man.
Yeah, it's sad. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of sad stories.
Yeah, for real.
It's a corrupted system, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna take a lot to change that. But
and we all know, we're from Muskegon. There's a pretty large Mexican population in Muskegon, but going north of that into the field working and stuff, grow ops and shit, and my dad did a lot of work up there, and he housed a lot of immigrant workers and shit with what he was doing and stuff. And it was just, you hear shit that you don't love, and that definitely does suck. So.
Yeah.
But it's just the sacrifices people are willing to do, just to provide a better life for their family at the end. I respect it.
Oh, for sure. It's not that 100% respect for the people that are coming to do the work. And I got no fucking hate for anybody trying to make a better lives for themselves. That's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about the other side of the fucked up system of
it's getting exploited and stuff.
Exploitation. I just and I'm not trying to get heavy, but I just watched a documentary about farm workers exploiting and shit. And it's
just fresh off some depressing ass documentary.
I am, bro. I am, man. Yeah, it's
Let's talk about your favorite tacos, dude. What's your favorite tacos?
Best tacos I ever had were in Los Angeles, and that, of course, is directly from the Mexican population there.
So did you go to a restaurant, or you just got one off the side of the road somewhere?
Several. If it was up to me, I would have been eating tacos every single meal, but the ladies weren't having it for every meal. But we got to do pretty good. It was, my homie Inglot lives out there, and so we went out to visit him, and I'm like, bro, you got to take me to the fucking taco spots.
What part of LA did you go to?
He is in sort of it's kind of East LA a little bit. I'm not super familiar with every neighborhood.
So crazy,
but and it was pretty wild as far as that goes. And but I'm fucking cool.
I went out there I was out in Northridge, which is kind of in the valley and stuff like that. And my buddy, we drove around, and he was like, hey man, let's try some tacos. Pulled over to a 99-cent store. Yeah. There's a guy with a tent and lady in there. Boom, we walked, freaking eating the best tacos I've ever had in a freaking 99-cent store parking lot.
Yeah. So we went to legit restaurants and literally bought tacos from a guy on the street and several things in between. My favorite ones came from the LA market, the downtown open air market. That's a little more, it's kind of you go downtown and it's underneath, it's the main level of a huge skyscraper basically, but it's all an open, they open up all the gates around, so it's kind of open air, but you're kind of inside still too. And there was probably there's everything in there, Vietnamese, fucking all you'd ever want, dude, and it's all the shit. And I was like, well, there's like 3 taco vendors in here. I'm going to pick one. And this was for breakfast, too, mind you. I'm like, I'm just fucking going to hit the one I think is the best taco. And I fucking chose right because it was on point, dude. And the way they do it there, I don't know how it is in Mexico, but it's like you order 3 and you get like 5. You know, it's like they're stacking up shit on the side, giving you extra tortillas and shit. You know, I'm just going, oh god. Fucking awesome.
That's probably sacrilegious. I was going off on this the other day, but we used to do cream cheese and tacos, man. There's nothing better. I know it's,
Ooh, I don't know.
I guess to each his own, but that is.
We get some dirty looks on that.
There's a lot of dishes with that are something like that. At least with sour cream. So you're not too far off. I get it.
Yeah.
There's some.
It's all kind of fucking dairy, right? At the end of the day, it's just kind of like.
I won't judge you off.
You can judge. You can judge.
This guy.
I'll redeem myself by saying I'm a big tamale guy. I might dig a big tamale over some tacos. Even, honestly, I
know how to. I make them.
Nothing better. Do you do the whole like flour and everything, and just like scratch soup to nuts on it?
Everything. Yeah. Everything.
Yeah.
So he's had
nice.
Chicken and pork, beans. I've made all kinds of tamales, and I know how to make them. I got my own recipe and stuff. I sell them around town.
Nice.
Okay.
I haven't lately. Kind of took a step back because of prices and people. It's not. Some things happen there, and I go, well, I got to take a little break. I'm starting up again, and I told my mom I got to at least brush up on it, and I made some, sold a little bit, but trying to get back on it. For a while, I was heavy into it, and then I just kind of stepped back, and I kind of been more focused on the music, I guess. But
cool.
Tamales, that's something that I'm going to carry that forever. I mean, I could make it for myself or any little something I'll have forever.
That's awesome, man.
Something about there's a connection between cooking and music, isn't there? I find a lot of musicians love to cook as well. Something about like
my thing, the two things.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed cooking. I know a lot of other guys that are into it too. They seem to be.
There's some parallels, man. Cause it's kind of that part art, part science, right? Because like you got to kind of play within the rules to be not too ridiculous, but you get that little bit of freedom and kind of put your own spin on it. Take
ingredients from other things and put them together into your own thing. You know,
sampling.
Believe it or not, I was telling Tony when I go to Mexico, I go visit an aunt. And because obviously they're in Mexico and they live there full time, I don't. So when I go there, I make pasta dishes with shrimp, and I make stuff that are like American or Italian. They love it.
That's cool. I get it. Yeah.
Pizzas for them. There's a lot of pizza places around there, like a lot of Mexican chains. My brother says he's not too big on them. You know, I never bother with them. But so when I go there, I make this for them because they do so much for me.
Right.
They'll cook for me on other days, and I'll say, okay, today I'm going to make pizza.
So them like these freaking awesome tacos that we are like, oh, fuck, this is the shit to them. That's fucking everyday food to them. So like you go over there and whip up some good pasta and Italian food. They're like, hell yeah.
Because the way I'm talking about tacos right now for them, you know.
Yeah, think about
next time throw some cream cheese in there and blow their minds. You know what I'm
saying? I guess you could say that's a quesadilla. Yeah, right. He's throwing the cheese.
You be disowned and shit.
Yeah, usually I cook and I just give them everything. I don't even want it.
Don't sleep on that cream cheese.
I'm gonna eat something else. I walk outside in the street and I can just buy something.
I just started. This is probably fucking old news to you, but I just started getting into and it's because there's better restaurants in Grand Rapids now of authentic tacos and shit, but like Barbacoa and El Pastor and shit and I mean that's all I've ever wanted. It's just because they're finally fucking serving it here, you know. So I'm just balls deep on it, dude. Oh, I don't even fuck around with nothing else. Like,
dude, I just got done
so good.
Done smashing some of those, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know some spots around. Like I'm telling you, dude, I've spent a little bit of time cruising around GR to some fucking spots, dude. Like, you know, getting some fucking good tacos.
There's a lot of good spots out there. True. I mean, we've been coming out here back in Muskegon. I mean, if you grew up in Muskegon, you know there wasn't much options there.
Flamingo,
right?
baby.
Flamingo was and then Rosita's popped up. But so what we would do is back in the day, we'd drive all the way out from Muskegon out here just to get tacos. So we'd find some little taco spot, smash.
Yeah.
Go hit up the mall.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Buy a Slipknot album. And listen to that the whole ride home.
Yeah. I'll shout out there's a spot. It's right by where I used to live. It's not far from here. It's La Huasteca, I think is how you say it.
La Huasteca.
Yeah, bro. They're chicken taco. Like the way they do the chicken, like It's like they chop. It's not pulled. They like chop the chicken, and they got their own fucking, and they're like red sauce that goes on.
It's that tinga, bro.
Okay,
that's probably what it is.
I mean, these people are. I mean, they're fucking. It's very, very authentic. And I was going there since literally like the day they opened. I lived. It's like 3 houses from where I used to live, and I'd eat there at least once a week. But I mean, it was literally like the first day they're open. I'm fucking in there.
You had a problem.
Being like, yo, like what's up with the tacos, y'all?
It was time for a taco intervention at that point right there. So, hey, guys.
Had you guinea pigging that shit from day one.
Like, they knew my order. Like, when I'd fucking call, they knew my order. They knew what I fucking wanted. You know, like.
It's called Mr. Morgan, the usual.
For real. On point. Yeah, man.
That's how good they are.
Mm-hmm. When you find that right spot. There's a really successful chain here. They kind of chained it out. It's, fuck, I'm gonna space on the name because I'm drunk. But they were a small family. They started it in like East Grand Rapids area or something like that, and then so successful they've opened like 3 more locations. And there's one not far from here too, and we've been hitting that one recently, and it's fucking good too, man. Fucking love that shit.
No, that's good. You know that they grew like that in the span.
Yeah.
So that says a lot about them.
This is making me hungry again.
Right?
Nah, I'm not hungry no more.
I think that like the through a lot of things. I mean, just like integration of people, but also the internet and the popularity of food shows and YouTube and stuff. Like, I think people are way more like open to like. I mean, when I was growing up, you know, for fucking white kid, a taco was like, you know, Taco Bell or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like, you know, so like the real like authentic like real taco, you know, is like.
It's always some bastardized, like, American version of what, you know, some half-ass facsimile.
You know what I've found fascinating lately is Indian street food culture.
Yeah.
Dude, like, I watched a couple videos on that. Now that's all that pops up on my timeline, and I can't help but
love Indian food.
Dude, these guys, I mean, they put on a show, though, man. These guys fucking flipping his ladle in the air and catching it, dude. That's crazy.
Dude, there's like nothing I want more in the world than a street vendor with meat on a stick.
Oh, dude.
It's like, you know, like, that's all I want out of life.
You just described a lot of countries. And so, no, I bet if you went to every one, you'd find something just like that.
And then we're fucking it up in the States, man. You ain't no fucking guy with meat on a stick.
Hung up on it's got to be FDA pass and is it, you know, certified by this fucking agency and restaurants. Like, there's nothing better, dude. It's right off the fucking grill, dude. It doesn't get any fresher. Guys know what they're doing.
Dude.
For some reason, you can legally do it in your home as long as you do it for yourself, but you couldn't market that to sell. They are.
You know what it is, exactly what it is. Everybody's got their cut of the pie, right?
A
couple bucks to do
the tamale kingpin over here. Black market.
Got the black market tamales.
No, I'm pretty actually underground with that. Yeah,
indeed.
Off the radar, is like, you know.
Yeah. Well, not no more. Now you just.
Oh, you're gonna be blown up now, bro.
Who's Mr. Smiley?
You can be filling orders now, son. That you're on this show. He can be reached at the Tamale King at Twitter.com. Man, we used to order fucking tamales from Flamingo, though, dude. Like, they used to just sell them out of. They probably still do, you know, or whatever. But
yeah, man, rest in peace, Flamingos, man.
Did Flamingo call it finally? I'm not.
They've been gone for years.
Okay, yeah. Flamingo and Flamingo 2 over on fucking. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I used to go for the chips and cheese with meat and gravy. That was my favorite thing from them.
Nice.
And put that red salsa.
Chorizo and eggs, bro.
Yeah, no.
I was getting that chorizo and eggs. Yeah. And fucking, there's that place over there. It used to be really good. It's on Sherman. It's kind of in that strip mall there.
Oh, it's talking about
Tres Amigos, maybe. Tres Amigos, I want to say.
Oh, okay, yeah. Los Amigos.
Los Amigos, yeah.
That's Spanish for the amigos.
Yeah. For y'all,
they were good. Maybe you guys don't think about it. Was like, to me, it was like they were really good when they started off. Like, it was really on point, and then like it kind of fucking fell off. You know, I don't know. They got taken over or something, but
yeah, there's certain places. You know what? The taco trucks that popped up. You know, it's been one of my things. I've been wanting to go around and do a review on everybody and try to see, you know, who's the best one. But I think if I were to call it, I'd be like, I think it'd be Tacos El Primo, the one that's over by Frontier Mart.
Okay, I know what you're talking.
I think he's got the best ones.
A lot of people. You're not the only one. I've heard that from other people.
I mean, the other guys are good. They're good. But like, dude, I mean, I don't know. You've had tacos. When you have that one fucking good,
and it can be different than another. It's just something about the way they combine those, and it's only like 3-4 ingredients. The way
the meat though, the seasoning of the meat is so crucial. Like cilantro, no cilantro, man. So many decisions.
I have the fortune right now that I have a brother that lived in Mexico so long. It comes to him naturally. He makes these things because he's worked with food so much. So in our house, we never go out to buy anything. He makes it. Yeah. Or and my kids learn from him and they do it, and it's kind of like that because we'll make homemade tortillas sometimes our own. Like I'll get going.
Man. Should have came to your house on Cinco de Mayo. What the fuck, man?
Little taco buffet for us and stuff like that.
Shit. Damn, that sounds good as fuck, dude.
We'll make like just a crispy.
I feel like we've been talking about tacos.
Dude, we should have caught you into bringing some stuff here tonight.
Bro, I love tacos so much, though. It's not. I'm not faking this, dude. I don't blame you. That's my shit, man. I think Mexican food, I've thought about this before. Like, what is I really love a lot of Asian food, too.
But, see, I do, too.
And we all love all different kind of food, right? But it's like, if you got to pick one, I've thought many times, like, it might be Mexican, dude. Fucking, the right Mexican is just like, ugh. And for me, because I don't love carbs, like I'll get down on Italian or whatever, but I like a lot of protein. I like spicy.
You want that meat and that savoriness, that
sauce. I love hot sauce, and so it's kind of like for me, it's just everything.
Some spice to it.
No.
But also, like, there's something about, dude, I want to go to, like, just, like, Thailand or whatever. Same deal. Like, I want some fucking old lady to fucking cook me noodles on the street that's been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, hasn't cleaned the pan once. You know what I'm saying?
You know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be good.
Yeah. That's my shit, too, man. Any of that crazy Asian food, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was like that Andrew Zimmerman. That would have been like the dream job. Like, dude, like that's one thing with me. Like, I'll try anything. Like,
me too.
I know it's not gonna kill you. Like, dude, I want to.
Yeah.
I want to experience anything. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I might draw my line. I don't think blood sausage sounds very appealing. But
I've had it.
I mean, there's
blood sausage.
There's just some things that I mean, like, dude. But
easily the most metal encased meat though. Blood sausage is getting more metal.
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't think I can handle that.
I mean, dude, I've seen, but it was in some Latin American country on some show. They fucking slaughtered a goat and they drank the warm blood with cilantro in it right then, you know? Like, so, I mean,
I don't know if I
waste
could do
no,
that.
you know, we're kind of spoiled here, you know? Like, we're wasting shit, you know?
But yeah, just trying any. But when it comes to beverages, that's different for me. Like, I just can't. Yeah, like I'll try any kind of food, but if it's like a liquid, I'm like, dude, I don't know.
Well, you're drinking this fucking piss warm Corona right now. No, but with fucking oh fuck, I had something I was gonna say, but I'm spacing it. Cover for me, quick.
While you think of that, so you said you're a little adventurous. What's the most wild shit you guys have ever eaten? Just like craziest dish.
I mean,
let
me see.
Sound like you got a good answer over there, brother.
What do you got, Cesar? Because I can't think of.
Well, we used to go hunting, and this was in Mexico, and as a matter of fact, this was my Pablo's family, my uncle Pablo, our uncle Pablo's family. Took us. He had a little ranch, and they said, you know, there's rabbits and snakes. So we found some rabbit, some snakes, and then we found some rats. And they said that, well, we can eat rats. You can eat it. I've eaten rats.
You can definitely eat rats.
So I was a kid, and I was like, nah, you guys are kidding me. So next thing you know, he's looking for him, and he caught some because they all lived around the cactuses. See, out there, you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So they're actually clean rats in a sense. They live off the cactus. So we caught him, we prepared him. I wasn't that big on it. You know, I was like, okay, because there was grills off the man. I was like, like, no, I don't know if I'll do this again.
What did it taste like?
It was kind of
chicken.
No, believe it or not, rattlesnake tastes just like chicken, and that was delicious. And I would eat that many times over and over again.
Do you got to prepare that a special way to make sure you're not getting the venom, or is that
you got to
kind of deal? Okay.
What they did with this rattlesnake, you got to cut like a foot from each end. I don't know what but that had something to do with it.
Okay,
cut from the end and from the head.
Makes sense.
And
all snakes are edible.
You gotta get that poison out.
All of them. You can eat any snake.
Yeah,
actually,
and
I
I
think
thought
all
that because
they're edible.
But yeah, it's like a chicken because gator is more fishy.
It is.
And I noticed that, well, a rattlesnake is more like a chicken looking because it comes out white. When I put that on the grill, I fried it, and it's just this big, you know, it's pretty neat because the meat just comes off like that, and then you got some on the
So you ate a
spine.
rat. You ate a rat. You ate some rat.
Yeah, me and Diego, we tried it, and it was like, nah, okay, we tried it.
I bet you like anything though, you could prepare it
like,
like
top up on
I think I tried squirrel stew one time.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like, dude, I think of a squirrel as a rat, kind of. So
it's not that different, right?
It kind of like, oh god, I don't know, just
a squirrel's basically a rat with a fluffy tail. It really kind of is, it's basically the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
When I did the rat thing, for me, it was about let's be cool and eat this. This is messed up,
Oh yeah,
I am so brutal right now. I'm so sick, and it's almost like I was on a TV show thing. I really wasn't like, oh, this is exotic. I'm gonna try this. I was like, this is gonna be bad, but screw it. I did it in front of everybody. My dad and all these people saw it, but then the other dude was eating it because he says he does it. So I was like, nah, it really isn't that good,
Right?
Yeah.
No,
all right. I was like,
I pass on the rat tacos.
What's the weirdest shit you ever ate?
Like I said, squirrel stew, probably maybe egg drop soup. I don't. That shit was pretty weird too.
I did have.
I'm not a big egg drop guy.
I love egg drop
Give me that
soup.
sweet and sour, baby. Give me that sweet and sour. Hot and sour.
I like hot and sour too, but I love some egg drop soup, man.
Yeah, no, I'll stick with the General Tso chicken. That's as far as I go.
Really?
I mean, I like other Chinese food, but that's my go-to.
You guys like sushi?
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
Yeah.
Sushi is fucking amazing.
I've had sushi.
See, that's what I was gonna tell you. Next time you go to LA, you got to try the Mexican infused sushi.
Oh,
dude! Oh man, I can't. I mean, just imagine your sushi, right?
Yeah.
With fresh fish, shrimp, or whatever, but with like cilantro and a little bit of jalapeno, some lime juice.
Oh shit!
A little bit of salsa, dude. It was fucking amazing. So then we go, and I've never had it before. He said, "Hey, you want to go have sushi?" And I'm not knowing where we go, so we walk in, and everything is just like that. All the smells, and the thing, they do it right in front of you, so you can get these platters with a variety of everything on it. Like, oh god, dude! Like I wish we had one of those out here in Grand Rapids.
Mexican infused.
Fuck, dude, I've never heard of it, but I mean, if you go. Dude, I highly recommend. If you like sushi, I highly recommend it. And there's two locations. There's one called Senor Frogs, and then another one called
Senor
Ceviches.
Frogs is just some big ass fucking club or whatever.
Yeah,
all over the
but
place?
They have one in Cancun.
Okay, yeah.
This is just a little sushi.
You're talking about
local.
Yeah. It's like Senor Frogs, the place where you do fucking belly shots at spring break.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
No, but that's what it's called. I'm fucking sitting in the plaza. But yeah, dude, it's so fucking good. I mean, I like seafood and all that kind of shit.
Me too.
So they have it with that little
I like
twist.
pretty much everything. Dude, I love, and this is actually what I was going to say when I spaced out was like, one of my pet peeves is people that are like really picky eaters. And I'm like, really? Like, I always try to tell people like, look, dude, people wouldn't be eating this shit for the last fucking 40,000 years if it wasn't good. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. It's exciting and fun to try new fucking food that you never had before.
Yeah, and like it's like, and there is the adventure part to it. Like you don't have to do it all the time, but it's like when in Rome, like try something new, get out of here. Like I had somebody cook me an Ethiopian meal one time. She was like from Ethiopia, and she was staying with a family here, and so she was treating them to Ethiopian food, and he knew I liked weird shit, so he was like, why don't you come over, she'll cook. They do this thing, they have this special seasoning they use. It was like this stew and a certain kind of bread. It's kind of like Indian-ish, but it's not. And like, oh, fuck yeah, let's get down. I didn't love it. Still though, it was super fun. I'm talking about it right now. I was like, I never had anything like it.
So how about the fermented fish heads?
Oh, fish
I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how do you come up with that? Like, dude.
Waste
that's
not,
what time's
man.
called. That's what measure.
And then also too, they'll eat the blubber, the whale blubber.
I would try whale blubber. I would love to have a whale steak.
It doesn't look very great, but I mean, I would. I mean, I just figure it's kind of chewy, maybe like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean.
I went down a rabbit hole. I read Moby Dick, so I went down a rabbit hole about like that era and whaling and all that, and how they'd fucking catch these whales for the blubber and shit, but then they'd just be hacking off steaks to eat because they got to eat out on these ships and shit, right? And just steaks that are bigger, you could cut a steak the size of this table off of a fucking whale, and
fucking
like
feed everybody,
cooking them, and I'm just like, I want to try some fucking whale steak.
The sweetest of endangered meats for sure.
Some bald eagle.
Yeah.
Anything on the endangered list?
Exactly.
You guys got any Bengal tiger?
I mean, people eat. I mean, like horse is eaten all over the world.
Yeah, Taco Bell, bro. It's in there every day, man.
Hey-o.
I don't know. How about dog? Do you think you? I don't know.
I could see. That's the
even
thing,
dog,
man. I
dude.
can't like it, but
But
it's
why though? Why you draw the line at the dog?
exactly because
Why?
for us they're like pets. But yeah, it's exactly. I get what you're saying, dude.
You know, I mean, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
'Cause
But
I mean,
they do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Lots of
Maybe
fucking,
one of those little yippy ones. Like,
lots of camel being eaten out
a
there.
little sweet and sour sauce on it.
Yeah,
Maybe
they
all right.
they're cooking up a lot of camel though. You
Camel's
hear that
supposed
shit?
to be good
Yeah.
shit. I get down to some camel for sure.
Yeah, there's a camel.
You know what? I probably would try any of that stuff in jerky form. Definitely put
Some camel jerky.
Yeah.
You like
camel
jerky?
Any type of
Fucking love
exotic
jerky,
animal.
too,
Just
dude.
put it in jerky form. It doesn't make it so bad.
Smoke it and dry it.
Right.
And you're fucking good.
Chew on it for a little bit.
Yeah, I would definitely. To me, it is kind of always like a when in Rome thing too. Like if somebody's doing something that's like, hey, this is our culture, this is something we're doing. Like we eat this all the time or whatever. It's part of our even it's our heritage. And like I'm definitely down. I'm down to try it. Like there's
So
very little that I'd be like absolutely not.
Bugs.
That's tough too.
I
That's
think
tough,
I
too.
think I could do insects.
Yeah.
I have.
I could do insects over what kind of bug?
Cockroach, la cucaracha.
They're like grasshoppers and
Well,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
see, that's an insect.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I would look at that as an
bug,
insect.
but-
So, like, I would eat a grasshopper.
That's actually good, man. I've had some
Yeah.
grasshopper and cricket
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, it's
like,
little shit
dried
like
out,
that.
salted.
They
or, like,
fry
chopped.
them
Yeah,
and
it's
salt
good
them and
man.
shit.
They
Yeah.
were nice and fried, and they put lime and a little
Yeah.
sauce.
I'm just
on
not
it.
trying to eat no larva or worms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
It's
That's
that squishy factor.
What do
You
they
get
call
the big
those
squishy
things?
ones. No big deal.
yeah.
grubs.
Oh no, no way, man. No goddamn way, dude.
I mean, even though I think one experience I do want to do is try to do the survival, right? Try a survival challenge where you're like thrown in
go
the
out
woods.
you got
Bro, you got to survive off the land. You got clothes on your
take
back. Maybe a
3
couple little
tools or
tools. Yeah, you know what I'm
whatever,
saying?
yeah.
Got a
Yeah.
knife and a hatchet.
Yeah, you get
just
to
fucking
pick,
doing
you
the
know,
work.
you
on it.
gotta-
Yeah.
Fuck, you gotta be able to make a fire and shelter. Give me what I need to do that. I think
Yeah.
I'll be good. About
Always wanted to try that,
Yeah,
man.
dude,
God
you know
damn,
you
what
guys
fun,
should
dude.
go, dude, and then we'll film it.
There you
dude.
go.
We'll do
It's
you
like
guys-
a test of manhood. You know, it's one of those things. Some rite
do
of
that
passage
alone
shit, you know?
shit, but it's just YouTube idiots fucking in the
Dangerville, naked and
Dangerville
afraid.
presents.
out here behind my house, you know, like this in the woods out here. You're 10 feet from the bathroom, dude. Just living out there.
2 hours later, yeah, fucking let's hit some flamingos.
fuck this shit.
Done with this shit.
Yo, in my pool. What the fuck? Not in my pool.
DoorDash shows up at their tent.
Yeah. Yo, you can't call DoorDash, man. That's cheating.
You said we get 2
Pizza.
tools. One of them's the iPhone, man. What can I say?
and then fail to tip the driver when he gets there. Like, dude, they got my order wrong.
The driver's like, I just delivered to a Sasquatch. What the fuck was that? All right, boys. Listen, I got kind of at least what I think is a pretty fucking funny story that happened to me at my day job today.
What's going on with this?
Do tell.
Yeah. Well, you remember a few pods ago, I told the story about the guy who ran into the telephone pole and kept running into it. And I sent
Oh
you
yeah,
the video.
saw the
Yeah.
YouTube on that one.
That's a whole other thing. But all right, so the shit fucking. It's kind of hearing like it's kind of like rumors about something kind of like happened out at a job site today. We're contractors. We have installers that work with. They're out installing a product, and they work with other contractors who are also out installing their products. Right. Our builder rep guy, he gets a call from a different builder that's at the same job site as one of our guys.
Okay.
Right? Okay. And he's like, so one of your installers asked me for my number, and I thought that, you know, it was just like a networking, like, you know, like,
Right.
or even like, because, you know, installers can kind of like jump ship sometimes and like, hey, like, you know, I'll
Get
work
something
for you.
lined up for down the road if you need
Maybe
it.
it was,
Yeah.
you know, something or whatever. And so he gives him his number, you know, we're thinking it's just a supply thing or whatever. And
I
the
see where
guy-
this one's going. I think.
well, yeah. The dude texts him and he said in the text, and it's fucking weird, and let me try to explain, but he says, he goes, do you suck dick and do you
shit.
smoke meth?
Holy shit.
And
Wow.
I saw the screenshot of this text. And so, but here's what's crazy about it before I go on, is there's no punctuation. So there's not a question mark. And the way, at first, the way you read it, it almost sounded like he was like insulting the guy. Like he was almost saying like
accusing him.
Yeah, like or even
balls,
saying like, "Are you a fucking idiot?" Basically saying like maybe you fucked something up, and him going like, "Do you smoke meth? Like what are you fucking?" You know. But upon like further review of the situation, we think what really happened there was that should have been a question mark, and he was propositioning this guy.
Oh yeah, the dick pic was the next kid coming out. Oh yeah,
for sure. Wow.
So, fucking. Dude, the receiver of said text calls our office, and, you know, as a you know, but almost like he wasn't like pissed. It was more like a courtesy, almost like, hey, do you know that like one of your dudes is out here doing this kind of shit? And the dude's only worked for us for like only like a couple weeks, so like you know,
wow, dude.
That's crazy.
Wow,
yeah, dude,
out of control, man.
Yeah, so needless to say, you know.
He didn't think that one through.
He didn't think that one through, and he's not going to have a job there any longer.
Damn.
I'm sure, you know.
So did the guy blow him?
So yeah, so the moral of the story is they smoked some meth and
yes. I get off at 6.
But it's like, oh my god, like, can you imagine like
the balls to come out firing that hot, dude? What kind of fucking
like,
shit was going on before that? To like, this seems like a good text.
Like on the job.
Yeah,
like,
that was either an act of desperation or a cry for help. One or two.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that shit's just fucking wild. So anyway, I thought that was just too wild to not share.
That's out of control.
That's been marinating there in your head there for a while.
Well, today was fucking wild, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier, man. Just like work and shit, and like, dude, fucking, it's a full moon tonight too.
Oh, shit.
Or it was either yesterday or tonight, but either way, it's like it's full moon time right now.
Okay.
People are just fucking crazy right now, dude. And Cinco de Mayo, you got fucking all the Mexicans are under the full moon, fucking dancing around, wearing your skull paint, drinking Tecate.
They turn into little chupacabras.
Yeah.
Translation, that's turn into little goat.
The goat sucker, man.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on the Chupacabra, son. I've been following that.
Have you ever
since it
seen
came
one?
out. I've seen everything they thought was one. You know, like every piece of quote unquote evidence, pictures, everything, dude. Oh yeah, bro. I'll go down.
What's your book that you're at on that you're a big fan of? That Chupacabra thing wasn't the Skinwalker? Was that some Chupacabra stuff?
No, that's not
different?
Chupacabra exactly. That's more Native American stuff. But the Chupacabra was started actually in Puerto Rico originally, and then moved into central Mexico and up to. You know, into Texas and into America and that kind of shit. Most of it's just dogs with mange, but dude, there is some wild shit about the Chupacabra, man. That's unexplainable, dude, in my opinion. So if the stories are true, you know, so
yeah, I've yet to have my Chupacabra experience.
I think it's real. I don't know. You got any insight on that? Like in Mexico, is it just a joke? Is it like
no? They talked about it. I remember when this happened. My parents lived in Mexico at the time, so they saw a lot of things on TV. There's specials, documentaries, news. No, it was a real thing. Yeah. It was a mystery. To this day, it's kind of a mystery that there's all this evidence.
Dude, like,
and just like you said, it's out there. It's crazy.
Mexican paranormal shit, it's fucking 10 times scarier, dude. I don't know if it's just because of how it's said or how it's brought, but dude, there's so much crazy stories that I've heard growing up that it's
there's
like
a lot of unexplained stories.
So like, you know, a lot of people out there, if you know, like when you're from the country or whatever, they're like from, you don't live in the big cities, although they call it, you know, they live in a rancho, right? It's like a ranch, right? Yeah. And it look like more of the rural areas, right? So you hear a lot of crazy stories about things that happen to people out there in the middle of the desert at night. And
what's the wildest shit you've heard about that?
Yeah, like UFO.
It's crazy because there's a lot of UFO sightings in Mexico, but you just hear different ghost stories of, you know, people encountering things and hearing things and
people appearing, dead people appearing, a lot of unexplained things like that.
Well, I mean, there is that. There's more of that openness within the culture. I feel to experience that stuff. That is, I mean, literally like Day of the Dead.
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
they got a whole holiday where they celebrate.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, you know.
But it's to me like growing up. That was always my dad would tell us stories. Obviously, you guys hear about La Llorona. That was like one of the scariest ones to me growing up. But
no, wait, what? Hold on.
You never heard about this one?
What is this?
Oh, wait, you never heard about the Weeping Woman?
They made a movie about it.
Yeah. Oh,
no.
Okay. I mean, you want to tell you want to tell them the
I quite don't know.
You don't quite like. Okay, so
I know
what we were told. So there was a woman, right?
Yeah.
And she had a husband who wasn't being faithful to her, right? Okay. So in an act of revenge to get back to her husband, this woman takes their children down to the river, and she drowns her children, right?
Kind of a tales all this time.
Yeah, so then now there's so now this lady comes back and she ends up dying or whatever. I don't know if she's murdered.
One of the things is she's always crying. Yeah, and she's always talking about her kids. Yeah. So basically, my children. Like she regrets. She lives with this regret, and you hear this regret, and it torments you. So that's where I think it's a torment that a lot of people.
This to me sounds almost more like folklore.
Yeah,
this has more of a moral.
It's like some you tell your kids, what I'm saying, to kind of be like, hey, watch out.
It's a moral of like for the man, like you this is what will happen to you.
It's a cautionary tale type thing.
But I can tell you in Monterey, there's a story, and this took place in these last 50 years or something. A cab driver picked up a girl and she told him to take her to this address. So he went there, and she said to go knock on the door and get this guy out. So he went and knocked. The guy comes out. Well, there's this lady, blah, blah, blah. When he said the name, this dude just turned into freaked. Now, when the cab driver and the guy looked, there was nobody there.
And she'd been dead for a long time.
And it was his girlfriend.
Wow.
And see, they talk about it. The dude says, I'm not making this up. I picked up this lady.
Yeah.
The dude was freaking out, but the other dude was freaking out because he gave her by name. He even described what she looked like, and the dude said, that was my girlfriend.
Oh, shit, dude.
And there's a handful of different stories like that in Monterrey. And that's just one city. You go to every different city, you're going to find a bunch of unexplained, weird things like that.
I bet.
So crazy. Where do you guys fall on that? You think you put any credence in that? You buy it or no?
It's hard to say because there's so many of them. It makes you wonder, but there's just so many.
There is a folklore element or urban legend, like modern folklore, where shit spreads, and then one guy tells, "Now you're telling me on a podcast. Now I'm going to tell my homie," and the next thing you know, it's three other. It ain't the same story.
At least 10 listeners are going to hear that story and spread it out to more people.
Well, you being down in Monterey, like where you guys are at, and being able to see the openness of the sky out there. Have you ever seen anything crazy looking
just
up?
Shooting stars, constantly, because it's so nice and crystal clear there for some reason that you just something about it in the mountains, being those big mountains really points that out, and then when you see things you'll see that a lot.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
But there's a lot of UFO sightings. I haven't seen it.
Some of the biggest UFO sightings that have ever been have been Mexico City and
my parents talk about it. There was a period and it was on the news a lot, and they heard that there were sightings in Monterrey too. My parents can tell you more about it than I did because they were there for a while after when I moved there. They stayed there for the longest.
South America too. Brazil is there's some of the craziest fucking UFO shit that's ever happened. It's been in Brazil, dude.
That's kind of what they said. They had like a Roswell thing that happened down there, I think.
There's a thing resurging right now because and I had heard of this case, but the dude was just on Rogan because he just dropped a documentary about it. He's been looking into it for like 15 years or something. It's in fucking Virginia, Virginia basically. And it's a fucking, there's a sighting of like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole bunch of different things, but it's basically a UFO crashed with beings in it, and these little creatures got out and walked around the fucking city, and there's all these different sightings of them, and they died, and then they took them to the hospital, and the doctors did fucking x-rays, and this was in the 1990s, and so most of these people are still alive. And it
was witnessed by like hundreds of people because it happened like around an elementary school. So it was all these kids, teachers, everybody telling the same story.
Huge city. It's
apparently one of the dudes that was transporting one of the aliens to get help or whatever because they were all crashed. Like he died of some crazy disease within like a
dude
day
who
or
was
a week or something.
He was like
that.
I think he was a military police of some sort. when they encountered this thing, and that he jumped out without thinking, and he like grabbed it and put it in like the back of the car or something. And he grabbed it with his bare hands, and he was dead like 3 days later.
Holy
They're all
fuck.
talking about this smell that permeates
Yeah, it's
fucking
supposed to be like
everything.
between the machinery and like the bile, just the scent of the aliens. They said it was like unbearable. They had to, I think,
People were saying-
burn part of the hospital because the smell was so bad they couldn't get that shit
Like
out
people
of
were
there,
like
supposedly.
weeks later, it's still in my. I've been flushing my nose out with saline and
Dude, that's
bleach
fucking
and shit or
crazy.
whatever, and I can't fucking get
And the
smell out.
government closed up. That was the thing that lended a bunch of legitimacy to it. Was that I
Yeah.
think it was documented, right? That the government like shut this area down, quarantined it all, and I think that's like all on record, and it's part of the thing. It's like, holy shit, maybe this is.
I'm gonna have to check that
Fucking pretty
documentary out.
crazy, yeah, dude.
That sounds really interesting.
I know I want to watch
yeah.
it bad too. I listened to the podcast about it and heard the dude talk about it.
I watched it. I watched the documentary, and I had heard of this shit before, but this guy deep dived. I didn't know half of this shit. I can't remember it. You know, I'd heard grumblings of it in the UFO community from before that or whatever. And yeah, it's wild. It's called Point of Contact or
Moment of Contact.
Moment of
I wanna
Contact,
say,
something like that. It's on like, you know, whatever. It's on Amazon or whatever. You fucking rent it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty fucking balls deep in that UFO shit when it's around. And that one's pretty fascinating. But yeah, man. It is known in UFO fucking things that, you know, Mexico and fucking Latin America, South America, like there's like more shit going on there than about anywhere in the world.
They're like hotspots for sighting
Hotspots,
down
yeah.
there,
And Russia is the other fucking
Russia.
Yeah.
Surprised they haven't shot one down yet.
They probably have, dude. That's, you know, like,
Taking that
we
thing
wouldn't
out.
know about it. I mean, I didn't know about
Exactly.
this Brazilian,
Yeah.
you know, sighting until you
Yeah.
know recently.
And apparently with the Brazilian thing, it kind of ends up with the fucking Americans come in and fucking take it all and shut it all down. You know, basically, our military just fucking comes in and just, you know, whatever. I don't know. That's what they say. So,
We live in a world of mysteries.
yeah.
This world itself, us, who we are, where we come from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything else, it's all a mystery, and I guess we're here to enjoy ourselves, and while we're at it, we're going to
Yeah.
learn something or discover something.
Yeah.
It's the most kind of fun stuff in a way, though. You know, like thinking about things like,
man.
okay, we got this thing pretty well pegged, and we know what's going on here. And like once all that mystery's gone, man, so some of that shit is so interesting and fun to think about, and like how much more is out there. It's
And it's like, no, there's a thing called the goat sucker, dude.
Right.
Like, what? Yeah, for
We
real.
got a goat sucker somewhere on our planet right now.
Holy shit, man. Yeah, I think that's one thing that sort of like the modern world's lost touch with a little bit, and there is still more of that. And maybe that's part of it is because there is still more of that there in Mexican culture, Native American culture, which is kind of, you know, it's all related, right, and everything. And so there's still a much more openness to that sort of, I don't know, spiritual side of things or whatever, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think we've kind of lost that, so I don't know.
Well, there's so much cynicism here too, you know, and everybody's afraid to be in the crazy nutcase and getting lumped into this. I think people are more hesitant to accept it sometimes too.
Oh, yeah.
But then you get into like we were talking about the pyramids and shit down there. Like, I mean, dude, like that shit's even the reality of that stuff. This is not paranormal at all. The way these people built those things and star alignments and archaeoastronomy and all that shit, dude. And it's the same in Egypt and all over the world and whatever, but hugely in Mexico and it's like, holy shit, man. Like these guys were up to fucking something, dude.
They knew a lot more than we think they did.
man.
You know, I think at the end of the day, it's like it's just been so long. And I think, you know, I can kind of agree with it. I think it's been a lot longer than what we've been told it's been.
Yeah.
So with that, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, just imagine. I mean, post-apocalyptic shit. You know what I'm saying? You start from scratch.
Yeah.
How many guys you know that can do heart surgery? You know what I'm saying? So it's like at some point, it's going to take thousands or hundreds of years before somebody gets that down again, right? You know,
I mean, we'd be totally back to square one. Think about how fucking dependent we are on phones and technology. The grid goes down. All your money just mysteriously disappears. There's no bank records. That shit's gone, dude. Everything's mechanized.
I would have had to map quest you guys to get here.
Bro,
like,
I'm still printing out MapQuest, dude.
He's got a fax machine somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, 100%. And I believe the most accurate calendar that's ever been devised by people is that Mayan calendar. as far as, because our calendar's off by a quarter of a day.
Dude, yeah, all that stuff is freaking fascinating, bro. It's like, man. How did these cultures that are so far from each other have so much in common, so with the building of those pyramids and where the placement is and how they all align some way or the other. Like, dude, like who's putting who's putting these puzzles together?
The layouts of these things in Mexico mirror perfectly the stars, and the layouts of these things in Egypt, half of the world away, mirror the stars, and we find these other things all over the world that do this, and it's like, these cultures shouldn't have been connected, but yet kind of clearly they are. They're both all doing this with pyramids, and like it's pretty fucking crazy, man.
The coolest / wildest theory about the pyramids that I've heard is the one about like using acoustic resonance to move the blocks, right? Like you get on a certain sound frequency and fucking levitate some stuff, like probably bullshit, but pretty fun and wild.
Well, don't they say too that like to like what we consider ancient Egyptians, the pyramids were ancient to them.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, dude, how far back?
Yeah. And the Sphinx, I've been listening to one about the Sphinx, and that's even supposed to be even more ancient, and like the Sphinx is like, the face that's on the Sphinx wasn't originally that. It was a lion. Or the whole thing was a lion. They carved it down. A guy, a human, whatever, king did carve it down to look like him, but that was much, much later, out of his own ego,
So who knows what it looked like before?
Fucking wild, dude. And it faces Leo. It's a lion, and it faces Leo exactly at a certain year. And if you dial that back, it's like 13,000 years ago. It's a goddamn Younger Dryas. It's fucking Graham Hancock.
I always wonder about that shit, though. Like, did they really line it up that way, or is it just like, it happened to work out pretty nicely? It's like one time every 10 years it happens to do the thing we think it should do.
Or was it just some dudes who got high and were like, let's build a lion, bro?
Yeah, for sure.
And then some guy was like, look, it lines up with Leo.
Yeah, for sure.
Check out that star, dude. That shit's wild.
Yeah,
like they didn't want to do Orion the Hunter because it was going to be too much work.
Right.
Make a lion.
Yeah. But the pyramids are Orion, dude. The 3 main pyramids are exactly fucking Orion's belt, dude. That's why that one's slightly offset.
I'm so fucking dumb,
bro. No, I know you're joking, but that's what's wild about it, dude. And like what pisses me off, is I'm gonna soapbox a little bit here, is the stuff from the Mayans and the Aztecs and stuff. In the scheme of things, not that long ago. And the only reason we don't know 90% of this stuff about what the fuck they were up to is because the Spanish conquistadors, the Catholics and whatever of Spain and all these, literally destroyed it all intentionally.
Yeah, they tried to erase the history.
And it's like, that's the reason we don't know.
It's the fucking Pope.
It's not like it was lost to the sands of time and we will never know. Some dickheads just 600 years ago. That's not that long ago, dude. Like,
burn this, kill them.
There was a lot of valuable information. And
for real, man. That to me is like the travesty of all time, and it's the same of the burning of the Library of Alexandria. Was the same thing. Essentially, to that point, the entirety of human knowledge of Europe and that part of the world was stored in this one place, and they were like, let's probably burn that down. It's like, fuck.
No, they didn't want no. Yeah. They wanted full control.
Pisses me off so bad, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, just for nothing.
Yeah, for nothing. Bro.
What's that, sir?
It's been a long week, man.
It has indeed.
Finding it really, really hard to keep up on current events.
So many different places to look. So hard to know who to trust in the news industry these days.
Either you're leaning left or you're leaning right. How do you find a source you can trust?
It's hard to get a good down and dirty, give me the brass tags here.
Right.
Let's do a little something maybe to get the people up to speed on the week's news here.
Okay.
Dangerville Podcast presents News of the World.
We're on a pretty tight ship, in case you guys haven't said. We're really on top of our game. We take pride in our craft here and what we do. All right, first up on the docket, we've got a WEF survey that says the world will shed 14 million jobs by 2027.
Ooh.
So the World Economic Forum predicts that in the next 4 years, the world will see an eye-popping job decrease of 14 million which is basically 2% of all the jobs we have in the world right now, just getting fucking iced out because of technology and stuff. Pretty crazy.
Damn.
So these soon-to-be defunct jobs will join the ranks of other positions that have been eliminated over the years, including switchboard operator, newspaper typesetter, and Brendan Fraser's dietitian. Yeah. However, there is a bit of a silver lining here. Some jobs are set to see a boom in the coming years. So we've got things like AI machine learning specialists, right? That's going to be a big one. Information security analysts, obviously. And bariatric surgeons that live near Brendan Fraser.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Stark rise over the next few years.
Jesus Christ.
It's been a few weeks since we had a good Brendan Fraser fat joke.
I love the Mummy.
For that right? Oh, dude, the Mummy rules and alarming.
Encino Man, bro. Yeah, this guy loves Pauly Shore more than about anybody
me some
in the
Pauly
world.
Shore. I love me some Brendan Fraser. We always break his balls. I got to see that whale movie. That's been on the list. I haven't even seen the movie.
All right.
What do you got there, guy?
You ready for this? Muslim mayor says he was blocked from a White House event because he's Muslim.
Okay.
Did you guys see this in the news?
Did not.
No.
Longtime Prospect Park, New Jersey mayor Mohammed Karula.
I was going to butcher the name.
Sorry, Mohammed, man. Shout out, bro. Sorry, I butchered your name. He says he was blocked from attending a White House celebration because he's Muslim. Upon hearing about the incident, President Joe Biden assured the public it had nothing to do with the fact that he's Muslim, but is simply because he's not white. Gotta laugh on Caesar. Come on, man.
Caesar's on board with that one. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Bask in the glory for a minute here. All right. So next up, we've got a bill would allow 14-year-olds to serve alcohol in Wisconsin.
Yes.
God
yes.
bless them, yeah.
Okay.
So the bill would reduce the current legal age of servers from 18 to 14, citing that the current age limit on serving alcohol causes workforces issues due to establishments' underage employees only be able to do half of their job.
Yeah.
So the proposed bill has gotten a lot of support from many already, including Ghislaine Maxwell, who commented, "It's fiscally irresponsible to pay a worker to do half a job. That would have been like Jeffrey paying 13-year-olds to handle the deep tissue massage portion and having to pay a 16-year-old to come in and finish up the job for the happy ending. This is ridiculous."
Worst episode ever.
Slow news week.
I also saw this one, okay, and I wrote something too about it. And this may be the worst fucking thing that I've ever written on this thing for sure to hear too. But
That's a bold statement.
yeah, it really is. I was trying to find
Don't
the
be
angle.
ridiculous. You said many terrible jokes.
So the headline is, "Bill would allow 14-year-olds to serve alcohol in Wisconsin." Okay.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
So basically, I'm not even going to do the joke because I had trouble writing it, but basically my angle was, it's not a bill. It's just my neighbor Bill. So I had this whole thing about how I reached out to the guy to see who created the piece of legislation. It turns out it's just some guy named Bill who's tired of waiting so long for his next Leinenkugel. So... Yeah, it's terrible. Really bad.
Bill in the corner's going, "It's fine by me." Yeah.
Exactly. That's just my neighbor Bill thinks that.
It's a good angle. All right. So we've got a woman has a loud and full body orgasm during the LA Philharmonic concert.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a woman in the balcony at the Walt Disney, of all places, the Walt Disney Concert Theater, by the way, the most family-friendly fucking company in the world, had a loud and full body orgasm during a performance of Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony. So, however, upon further investigation, it was determined that the groans were actually coming from the husband, who had just learned that there were still another 2 hours left to go in their performance. But kidding aside, the woman was interviewed after the concert and said, "It was an incredible experience. My husband's pianist certainly never made me come like that."
Wow.
Little pianist joke there.
I like that.
Got a couple more here. The tuba players were like, "It was pretty neat. We've never actually seen a woman come before." An honorable,
That's good.
Honorable mention. They're all good. Don't kid yourself. Yes. Bringing the bangers today. An honorable mention. Though the pianist was on an extended rest during that portion of the show, it appears as though he still found a way to tickle the ivory. pretty good. And I'm spent on that joke.
I'll have what she said. I'm pulling up that fucking symphony right after this show, bro.
Go home and catch a beat to that. I'm sure, dude.
Don't look at me, guys.
Playing that tonight. Trying to get it done. I ain't even got to be in the room. All right. Moving on here. You see about this shit? Little Hero. A boy stops a Michigan school bus with ill driver. You seen this shit?
Yeah,
this is in the real news. A 7th grade boy named Dylan Reeves grabbed the steering wheel on a school bus and hit the brakes, bringing the vehicle to a safe stop on a busy Detroit area road after the driver had passed out. And it's all on camera, and I did watch it, and it is he really did fucking save the day. The school superintendent said, "I don't know that it could have gone any better. When you have an anchor like Dylan taking care of business on the bus, it really and truly was a good day for us."
Dylan doing work.
Young Dylan Reeves declined to speak to reporters Thursday, but his parents, Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, were no doubt proud.
Oh,
yes. Throwing in the speed joke. Come on. He's on the bus. His last name's Reeves.
It's in his genes.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's in his genes.
My only qualm with that joke is why did you have to preface that by saying in the real news? Like, what do you think we're doing here, brother? We're bringing the people to fucking.
This was on M Live or something. Not fucking. The oddities section of the fucking AP.
In fairness, it's the Associated Press. It's a constant quality news source.
It's legitimate sources.
This was in real news. Yeah.
We're bringing you the heaviest of hitters at all times.
For
It's
sure.
the most burning
You
news
can't get
stories
this
of the day.
anywhere
Yeah,
else.
indeed. Except for, of course, AP oddities. All right. How many more do you got there, guys?
I got a good 3. I got a good 3
Okay.
left. 2. I got 2.
All right. I'm debating on back pocketing one here. Should we burn through them or should I save one pocket for next week? All right. This one's questionable. I want to preface this. I was super happy with this one.
You're saying they're all good, but they're all questionable.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. All right. So, student eats artwork of a banana duct taped to a museum wall.
Okay.
Right. So on Thursday, an art student from Seoul National University, removed a banana duct taped to a wall at the Liam Museum of Art, which is an iconic work from Italian artist Maurizio Catalan.
It's real iconic.
Yep. And he ate it because he was, quote, hungry.
Yes.
So, yeah, apparently this is art now. The student was actually in the mood for soup, but noted that the line for the Andy Warhol exhibit was simply too long to bear.
Yeah. I'll allow that.
Side note, this kid is literally my favorite person in history.
For
Just
real,
calling
dude.
bullshit, going, you got a banana duct tape. How fucking lazy are we getting?
Dude.
I bet you the
Where this
artist
shit
would be laughing his ass off
Yeah,
about that too.
dude.
I was
How long
finally.
does that banana stay, though?
Right.
It's got to start turning
They
black at
switch
some point.
out and then do not sell the banana. Little bonus news bit.
Wow.
So
They
we
switch
got-
it out like every 3 days, I think,
Jesus
or 7 days.
Christ.
And then they
Kinda
just
well
throw
done
it
with
away
this
after
pigeon.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Right.
Pigeon
And that-
legendary art. What a
They're
shame
mad,
that
and they're
is.
mad if they change it every 3 days. They're mad this kid ate one of them.
Yeah, dude.
Get the fuck out of
It
here.
stinks, dude.
They messed up their schedule.
Yeah, it's
God
utter
damn.
bullshit.
The banana
man.
schedule.
All these smug art fucks just showing up in their turtlenecks. Just, oh, it's breathtaking. The banana duct tape to a wall.
Yeah.
Fuck
It's
you,
genius.
smug
Did you see
bastard.
that thing
Come
where
on.
this shit happened where somebody left their glasses on the ground, like basically against the wall at a museum somewhere, and people started thinking it was a fucking part of an art exhibit or something, and people were like taking pictures of it and all this shit. Like, Jesus
That's
Christ.
amazing. That's the best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. What was that movie with fucking Gyllenhaal? He was an art dealer. Or
Oh,
whatever, that
yeah.
The art starts killing people.
Yeah, I forgot
That's a
what
great
it was.
movie.
yeah,
Did you guys see that?
I
shit?
remember that. Yeah.
That was a weird
super
flick,
fun
man.
movie. I
Gyllenhaal
love it.
makes some
Vaguely
weird
remember, but I do remember.
Loved that movie. It's not that old. It's a couple years old.
Renee Russo.
Yeah.
Shout out Renee Russo. Big Renee Russo fan.
Great movie. All right. German soccer match abandoned after referee doused in beer.
Yes,
See
I
that
saw this. All right.
one? A soccer game in Germany was abandoned on Sunday after the referee was doused in beer by an angry fan at halftime, who apparently was unhappy with the ref's decision to award a penalty to the opposite team. So The decision was made to halt the game, not due to any harm to the referee, but because the beer in question was a fine, warm German lager and the players simply didn't have the heart to continue. No good. No good. The Germans love beer.
Yeah. We get it. I was thinking about going. I wanted to go with like a Bud Light angle, or maybe like I didn't pour it on him. Kid Rock shot it out of my hand, but I couldn't quite make it work.
That's pretty good. I was trying to go for some other thing that was a spokesman for the Irish National Soccer League called all involved a bunch of wankers who need to get the sand out of their vaginas. that was my other angle on that. That was pretty bad.
Those fucking soccer fans, though, dude. Everybody thinks football fans are nuts, dude. Those
them guys meet up before the game and fight each other.
Yeah. Those English fucking soccer hooligans.
Sorry, man, but I love the Lions, but not enough to brawl with a bunch of guys I don't know. It's like, I'm good.
Over the Bears.
70+ years of losing will take the fight right out of you, my friend. Speaking as a fellow Lions fan, unfortunately. All right. How are you feeling about your closer?
I got a solid closer.
Yeah,
I got one
closer.
more. Yep.
All right.
You want me to go for it, or you got one more?
You want the closer? I will defer the closer to you if you like the closer, my friend.
You're up next, so go or don't.
All right. So last one here. Astronomers spot a star swallowing a planet. Did you see this one? So in a study that will appear in popular science publication Nature, scientists at MIT, Harvard, Caltech, and elsewhere report that they have observed a star swallowing a planet for the first time. Mm-hmm. Pretty crazy. So this is the most impressive footage of a star swallowing a large object whole since the Pamela Anderson Tommy Lee video in '95. No, that come on, that's glorious material. Great. You rat bastards. What? Caesar over there has been stone facing me the whole time. You got an ovation from Caesar. I got nothing here. Pamela Anderson Tommy Lee, come on, boys.
Perfect. That was, I knew right when he started on the punchline, I knew where you were going. Yeah, no, man. Fucking loved it. All right, I got one more. This is probably not as funny as that. I probably should have let you have the closer, so we'll see. In case you guys didn't hear, Canadian folk singer Gordon Lightfoot has died at 84. Pouring out for our boy Gordy.
Yep.
Canadian legendary folk singer-songwriter known for If You Could Read My Mind and The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and for songs that told tales of Canadian identity, has died on Monday.
Damn. Gordon Lightfoot. Yep.
He was a legend.
He really was.
Oh, yeah.
The fucking Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which I'm tempted to play all 8 minutes of for you guys right now. We have lost one of our greatest Canadian singer-songwriters. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tweeted. See, nice tweet. He went on to tweet and say, "Why the good Lord saw fit to take Mr. Lightfoot from us, but continues to leave Bryan Adams alive and well, we will never know."
Pretty good.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your
Dangerville Podcast presents News of the World.
Somewhere Bryan Adams is shedding a tear a couple days from now when this comes out.
That's basically Seinfeld or South Park material from the movie, you know. The Prime Minister's going, no, the Canadian government has apologized for Bryan Adams on many occasions.
That's a great impression by me.
It's that same News of the World voice. That's Trey Parker doing that shit. Yeah.
That's hilarious. South Park breaking Canadian balls well before everybody.
Seriously, dude. Man, you guys fuck with South Park at all? You watching South Park?
I used to.
Yeah. It's been on for so long now.
Yeah.
We watched like the early years of South Park. I'll catch an episode every now and then, even it's like, dude.
Honestly, dude, it's funnier than ever. It's so good. It's still like, and the way they can crap out an episode in like under a week to be like super relevant to what's happening now.
Oh yeah.
It's just like,
those guys have just been sharpening that sword for 20 years now. It's getting dominant at what they do. Yeah, they turn them so quickly now. They got it down to such a fine science. Do their comment on shit 2-3 weeks after it happened. You know, fresh in everybody's mind. So good.
Dude, their episode, if you guys haven't seen it, just look up the one that was from the most recent season that's about Harry and Meghan or whatever, the fucking royal.
Oh, I've heard about that one. Yeah, I haven't watched that
they
one.
They do it. Their whole shit about the English royalty, they do it as Canadian royalty, and so they like spoof it as Canadian royalty. But this new shit about fucking Harry and Meghan, dude, it is, and like she was like threatening to sue them and shit, dude. It is so on point, man.
It's the worldwide privacy tour, and you know their whole thing's, oh, leave us alone. We don't want to be in the public eye. And then this motherfucker's writing a book, you know,
on
Prince Harry's
doing interviews and stuff like that.
He was gonna live stream a psychiatric appointment he was having with like a therapist. It's like,
seriously?
Okay. Yeah,
it sucks to be royalty.
Nothing screams leave us alone
douchebag.
more than fucking watch me bare my soul here and talk about how hard it was to grow up with an infinite amount of money and power.
And royalty, and he went dressed as a Nazi
bastard.
to that fucking party and shit.
Not giving
He's
a
just
fuck,
doing coke and fucking banging hookers and hot tubs and shit. Like, okay, dude, yeah, we all care.
It's out of control, man.
Fucking idiot. Fuck both of them. She sucks too.
Yeah.
I don't even know that much about him, dude. And I'll fucking just be like this.
She was in some bullshit TV show back in the day, like
wasn't
some
even like
ABC fucking network something or other. I don't know.
Yeah.
All set on that, man.
Caesar's fucking, you balls deep on that shit, aren't you, bro? He knows all. But you followed, he cried
really.
for a week when the queen died and shit, dude.
This is all new to me.
I don't get, like, do you remember the royal wedding thing a few years back ago? And
I didn't
every
follow
chick
it,
I knew
yeah.
was like, they were just like, oh, I'm taking the day off to watch the royal. Like, who gives a flying fuck about watching these two get married? I don't get the fascination.
Most
like,
weddings are boring. I can only imagine that one being
yeah,
boring
dude.
as fuck.
Well, it's not even an open bar. Like, what the
South
fuck
Park
are you
did
doing?
that too, though. Do you remember?
Yeah.
They fucking spoofed that whole fucking royal wedding thing so hard, man. It's so fucking funny. I thought did the new king
Charles?
Yeah. Is his like coronation like this weekend or last weekend or something?
I
His
thought
like
it was
official,
coming
like,
up. I did
it's
think it
coming
was
up,
coming
right?
up.
Like the
I thought. I did
official
see
like
something.
ceremonial coronation and all this
saw it
shit.
on the-
Yeah.
What's with the delay on that, man? This shit's months
I'd have
overdue
been like,
now.
dude,
like,
ain't I the fucking king? Like, what are you guys waiting for?
He
Give me
is.
my
we don't
crown.
got to
He
count
is,
up the
but-
ballots here. We know how this one's going down. He's like, dude, show on the road.
Give
here,
me my
man.
crown already.
Yeah. Well, he's like, he's fucking.
I got people to fuck over. I got a big swinging dick I got to get out there and fucking dominate with. Come on now.
Somebody took his fucking he did that speech, like it was right after the queen died and whatever, and he did like he addressed the country, I would guess, basically, and they took it, somebody fucking overdubbed it, and dude, it was fucking hilarious. It was just like, in America, fuck you guys, you got away with this shit for way too long. Like it was, they just like took everything he was doing. It was so goddamn spot on. He's like, I'm in charge now, bitches. He's like 92, dude. That motherfucker's so old.
Fuck. He's going to be king for a few years. And then...
I know. It's like fucking Bill Maher. I don't know if you guys fuck with Bill Maher at all, but he's like, why are we still doing this? He's still doing this over there? Like, come on, like, enough.
You're just born into it. Like, it's such bullshit. I don't get this whole thing. I don't know. It blows my mind.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, when you're from there, it's different. That's what they say. It's, and it's all part of the, again,
their
it's
tradition,
heritage,
their
and
culture.
tradition.
Yeah, it's fucking...
Yeah. So, I mean, they're like, y'all fucking talking about Chupacabra,
You guys don't got no Chupacabra.
Yeah. We
Man,
might not have royalty, but we have blood-sucking ghosts.
Indeed. Which is far more
okay,
interesting. First of all, it's kind of the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. There's some things of British culture, like it seems like everybody talks about bringing it back full circle to the food. You don't ever hear anybody be like, dude, fucking the food in England's fucking
dude, they know it
appalling,
sucks, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Kinds of bangers and mash, 3 meals a day,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen any English restaurants pop up.
Right, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Did you
true.
find
There's a
English
spot
food?
here that was it was supposed to be like a British pub, but food wise, it was like we serve Indian.
Yep.
Because like the British Indian connection.
Yeah,
of,
yeah, they got
all that. So like, so basically they're like, yeah, it's a British pub, but like. We're doing
Indian
because English food sucks. They do fucking have fish and chips though, which is fucking awesome, and the shepherd's pie, which is also fucking awesome. It's like you guys figured out 2 dishes.
Yeah, they really nailed it with the deep frying something and making it taste good. Like that's never been done before. You fucking deep fry an old shoe, that shit's gonna be dynamite. Come on.
Would like to go to England though. You guys ever been to Europe? You ever fuck around over there?
No.
I'd like to go. That's something I think about a lot. But no, it's very interesting because I'd like to go to Italy myself.
Yeah, is that the spot? Like you could go to anywhere over there?
That's where I would pick.
Yeah, we went to Ireland. I would really like to go to Spain. I'd really like to go to Morocco, which is Africa, obviously, technically. But yeah, I don't know, man. What about you? Where'd you go if you got over there?
Man, I'd probably try. I think England would be cool.
England would be fun.
I think it'd be cool to visit.
Well, part of the reason we went to Ireland was because it was sort of like, yeah, let's get our feet wet a little bit. Like, it's obviously everyone speaks English and everything. So, like, just kind of
it's
like
easy to maneuver and get
around. It's an easier start to like, trying to like.
Well, I mean, they say it's so small out there. You basically can visit all those countries, and
Yeah, you could if you wanted. Yeah, but that ain't on the fucking main. I'd like to see Germany too. Honestly,
Germany would be dope.
Fucking lots of cool shit happening in Berlin, especially with there's a lot of history with music and stuff there. Actually, bands like fucking Queen and David Bowie and Stones, which are everyone British. But they were all fucking recording in England or in Germany to get away from English taxes. Actually, there's the backstory behind that. But
there's the whole Beethoven guy too, right? Maybe.
Yeah, Amadeus Mozart. I don't know. Is he British? Or German? Goddamn. Yeah,
Beethoven's German. Maybe not.
Sounds about right. Dude.
Brush up on my classical knowledge here.
Indeed. Yeah, fucking. You got to listen to that shit and fucking have a huge orgasm.
Nothing sets the mood like some Mozart.
Right. Dude, could you imagine you're at that fucking classical concert and you're like sitting next to this bitch and
it's like your fetish.
Like, oh man, those trombones.
Look at the size of those oboes.
She's fucking like asking the fucking flautist to sign her tits and shit. He's like, shit. They told me not to go into classical.
Or Woodstock atmosphere out there.
Oh, man, that's just wild.
Hedonistic devil music.
Well, so it's so much of heavy metal, though, is taken from classical music. You know? Like, so, I mean, it's there, it's in it. It's in it a lot. And a lot of that's just like the scales and shit. But I mean, even look at a guy like fucking... as fucking cheeseball as he is, fucking Yngwie Malmsteen. I mean, his big thing was I'm trying to be a violinist on guitar, and I mean, even Iron Maiden, like the harmonies between those guitars and shit like that.
Most of it is because it's minor notes. Yeah. And the Europeans use minors more than anyone, right? And that's the big difference. Here in the States, they use a lot more of the pentatonic.
Yeah, yeah.
Brighter notes. They have more of a simplified way of writing. They're both good, but that in the end, it just sounds darker. The European
a little more ominous feel
has
to it.
Something to it that always appeals to me, I guess.
And it certainly has to me too. I also love. I mean, what I do solo on guitar is all blues pentatonic shit essentially, because I never fucking bothered to learn anything more. But I like to kind of combine that too. I like the sound of kind of blues licks over metal too. Like that kind of works as well. There's some kind of parallels. There's a darkness to both because that really stems from the Delta, like Delta blues. That's really where, I don't know, the pentatonic, the blues sound, American stuff comes from, right? Originally. And then the fucking Europeans really got onto that. At that time, it was considered quote unquote black music here in America. And white people weren't fucking with it. And then white people in England got fucking hip to it, and that's why you get the Rolling Stones and the fucking the British blues explosion, Eric Clapton, all these motherfuckers, right? That's what that is them getting hip to American, and then literally it became, because they're white, American companies started selling it back to suburban white people in America, even though it was already our music. But that's like literally what the British explosion was fucking white people selling the blues back to white people in America. For real.
That's crazy. Real. I never looked at it like that, but it makes sense. Definitely.
That's kind of the history of that shit.
Wow.
But there's my whole point to all that was there's a similarity in the darkness of blues, like real blues and metal, there's a darkness to both, you know, and I think that kind of resonates to the same type of person in the same way, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, like Robert Johnson. We were talking about that last week, I think. Like the fucking how like spooky that shit actually is, you know. But that's why I like pentatonic, because it's like it's very simple music. I mean, the blues is 3 chords, right? You know, as a 12-bar thing, and you can put it in any key you want, but it's essentially at its core always the same thing. This 12-bar structure with basically 3 chords. And so, you know, so pentatonic being just 5 notes, it's easier, you know, so that's where a lot of that comes from. But like, dude, do you fuck with slide guitar and all? You ever play with slide?
I want to, and I haven't gotten around to it. You saying that?
Same. Yeah.
I just need to go find it. I never get around, and I need to just. Now you saying that, I just realized, why don't I just order it online?
Right? I mean, it's one of those things. I'm the same way. Always wanted to. I've never even like owned a slide. I have so much stupid gear that I've never used, and I've never bought a slide for the guitar. Like, what the fuck? You know?
No,
so
because
I should probably get on that.
Used. Definitely, some guitar players in metal have used it, and I thought it'd be something fun to mess with. And
yeah.
But you saying that, I just realized that because I never get around to it. Like, wait a minute, I can probably just order it online.
Oh, you can just go to the store. I mean, it's $3.
I should have had a V8.
You can make one out of this beer bottle. That's what those dudes were doing. That's how it started. That's again like Mississippi Delta. Like, take a piece of pipe and you know, like do it on the thing. You know. I'm a huge fan of Tool. If you haven't noticed, there's Tool posters all over.
Oh yeah. No,
Adam Jones uses a slide on a bunch of the songs on their album Anima, which is like my favorite album. That he uses a slide on a ton of that shit. And it's like, you know, he's not doing like proper slide guitar. He's more making like noise. you know, it's atmosphere. You know, like.
You saying that one of the bass player for Korn.
Yeah.
He had said
Fieldy?
once. Fieldy, yep. He said that. When he played the bass, he looked at it as he was making noises with it.
Yeah.
So I had to think about that, and that's what this Tool guy, the guitarist, that's what he's doing. That they figured out a way that, hey, I can forget notes, make noises that sound like effects, and look at it that way. And I started to look at guitar playing that way. It's like make noises, make it noise, make it.
So much more of that like atmospheric effect as opposed to just being like a sound or a song in the traditional sense.
Self-taught with all that.
There was some lessons, and then information here and there, and what other people were doing, and then you just figure that out on your own. Yeah. You just start tearing everything apart, and that's what all my teachers have told me. Just take it apart, start making it yours, start doing experiment and learn.
Right.
You're not gonna get anywhere unless you start doing that.
Yeah.
Because I actually. Very little have I tried to learn covers. I really never got into that.
Same. I did for a long time when I was younger. Then when I got into writing songs, it's just like nowadays I don't even know songs anymore. Like I couldn't like get together and like let's run a set of a bunch of classics.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been interested in that.
Yeah.
Like, you know. I'm more like just throw down a 12-bar blues and we'll play, you know, like but I don't know fucking, you know, Jesse's Girl, you know, or whatever, like
Listen to the original. It's already been done. You know?
What I started to do is because, and with my music, what I do, I play 7 strings.
Oh, cool.
And I tune down to
Ibanez?
G. Ibanez, yep. Yeah. But then I had a need to learn covers, but you know, death metal covers, just for the sake that I looked at it this way. I'm such a fan of this that I go to the shows and I buy the shirts. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
But how many people can say I can play the song from my favorite artist?
Yeah, you know? yeah.
So I went and actually bought some 6 strings. I went to and bought some Jacksons, and I started turning it. They're all in D. Most of the death metal's in D and C. So I just started learning it, playing it, and it opened up a little door. Like, oh, so this is what they're doing. Like, wow, that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And it was for sake to look at it as a fan point of view. Like, wow, I'm taking some of the songs. I already took them and broke them apart and go, well, what if I do this? Mm-hmm. And what if I do that?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
use
okay.
that framework and then put your own spin on it.
So no, there was something to it, but I definitely wouldn't interested in learning covers to do covers or
exactly.
do that.
And
especially
to be clear,
in Muskegon.
I wasn't talking about there's nothing wrong with doing that. I'm just saying that's not what I did.
Yeah.
And it's not what interested me. After a certain point, I felt like And it is super important, like you're saying. Like now, in a way, I do wish I did know more, because it does develop you as a musician. Like you're talking about, to break down songs, figure out those parts, and that is how you learn. But I just kind of like got way more interested in like, I just want to write my own songs. I kind of know what I want to do. I just want to do James Hetfield. I got that down, and like, you know, so like I'm just gonna start writing my own songs now.
At the end of the day, that's what I still go back to.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
me too.
I usually take a song at a time and dissect it, work on it, learn it, and it's fun to me. But because I'm not really gonna pursue it and start that, but at the end of the day, I still have that thing where what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? I already know enough. But definitely the cover thing, because I have a lot of friends that were metal bands, and now today they're all playing covers.
Right, and I get that.
And
believe me, I get that, because you make money doing that.
For me, it was like, it just doesn't. It's kind of boring.
Yeah. I thought I'm more interested in doing that as a singer, because I've learned way more cover songs as a singer.
It would be fun.
It's easier because there's a bigger time commitment as a guitarist to learn guitar or bass. So for me, I can basically just hear a song as a singer or a drummer and basically like sort of more or less already know it. Like you don't, with a guitar, it's like you really have to like sit down and like learn it, you know, like, you know, so there's more of a thing. So I don't know. I'm not chopped up on the guitar like I used to be.
No,
you know?
I recently went to Mexico, and a friend of mine invited me. He says, "Hey, I got this cover band. I'm going to go play. So you want to come out?" I said, "Yeah, I'll go." And they played, but one of the songs, and it was, I think, the outfield that,
yeah.
In the solo part,
Josie's on a vacation like so that, far away. That's the outfield,
and he was doing the solo part, and even I noticed he messed up.
Yeah.
No big deal, you know, it happens.
Okay,
but when he was done, he goes,
yeah.
"Man, you see how I messed up?" And we were talking later. He goes, "Yeah." It's like there's moments I know so many songs. Plus, he has a death metal band too, mind you that. So he does this death metal thing and this cover thing. He's been in so many bands and so many songs that I get it. He goes, like I forgot, like, whoa, wait a minute, what song am I even playing? He got caught up playing it so long that he says that he'll start like, wait a minute, which one am I even doing? Like, because there's that many. And I'm like, it'll happen. And it was neat how he caught up and got right back into the song. But I saw his face too, and I'm like, oh, okay. So when we talked later about it, it's like, no, and it has happened to me with my own music. Then I go, dude, be a little more present. Sometimes I wander and I go,
right.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think everybody's experienced that probably as a musician. You know?
I think that's the biggest lesson as a musician. If you're gonna, you got to take it so seriously. Not take yourself seriously, get mad at yourself, but be present. You won't get as mad at yourself. You're doing everything.
At least when you're doing your own music, you can be like, nah, man, I meant to hit that note.
Well, at least try to fix it and go for it and keep going. Don't really get to the point, because I've seen bands where all of a sudden, and everybody like,
oh, you don't want to, no, you don't want to fuck up that bad.
Steve and I, we made that a point that when we mess up, we get right back on track. We just keep going. And that's the thing that you'd rather just keep doing that so you don't waste time. And
live performance, man, you got to roll the punches.
Yeah.
That's a sign of, definitely improving, and where the pickup. So definitely you can go, okay.
For sure, yeah.
And it does. I think that looks a lot better for a lot of people. Even I've seen a lot of bands do it and go, hey, that's
yeah, for sure.
The only time we had a big fuck up back in the day, I was playing in my band that was doing bigger shows, and we played everything to a click, and so it was pretty. You had to be pretty like on it, and drummer went into the part. I don't know, he missed the bridge, or he thought we were on the chorus or something. He started playing something else, and we were playing at the intersection on the big stage there. And that one was like we were all looking at each other like, oh fuck, this one's gonna fall apart. So but we didn't stop, and like it's not like everybody knew our songs super well or anything, so it was like, I don't know, we fucking picked it back together at some point and just kind of started like because everybody else knew that it was fucked except the drummer, so we're all looking at each other like, okay, how are we gonna fucking salvage this goddamn train wreck right now?
Sweating bullets up there.
that was the one time that we were just like, and it was the same thing, just like a mental thing where you're just like, oh fuck, I thought I thought we were at the third chorus, but we were only at the second chorus, and I forgot, like we're actually going into the bridge, but I thought we were at the last chorus and was, or whatever. So like, yeah, it could be tough. But what are you gonna do? You just got to plow through, dude.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Just get up, and dust yourself, and just keep going.
Yeah. So what do you do for like writing? Do you like you're bringing in riffs to the drummer? Are you guys jamming? Like,
depends who comes up with the idea first, because we have that kind of thing. So I guess if it was me, I already have some riffs and I have a beginning part. We'll make that up, and then we can go from there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have more.
Right.
Sometimes he says, okay, I have this. And he starts playing beats. And he says, I figured this much, and we go into this part. So then that's the challenge for me, because at the end of the day, there's still my riffs. But there's the challenge. Now I have to adapt to that and make that, work. Make that myself.
Right.
Other people would go, no. We're just going to do this. No. I'm the leader of the band. We're just going to do that. So I will actually work with him. And I thought, well, this is a way to challenge myself.
Yeah.
And we actually recorded some of the songs that we have are his.
Yeah.
Some words, he comes up with some one-liners, and then I'll add more lyrics to it, move it around.
That's the fun part of collaboration.
Between the two of us, we do pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's how we do it. We almost go from song to song. Well, what's your idea? All right.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, he's done. Do you have an idea? Yep, I got one. Here. All right.
Well, that can be cool too, because that can break you out of your patterns, right? Like if you're doing the whole thing and living in that same space all the time, that's one thing, but you're going to be very much in that lane. But if you're having to play off a little bit of what somebody else is throwing in there idea-wise, think about it a little bit differently, come at it from a different angle type thing,
And because of him, Steve's kind of more just a metal drummer, where I'm a death metal person. I would put it that way, but he knows about it, he understands it.
Yeah.
He's just not into it as much.
Yeah.
So when we met and we were in a previous band, and we clicked, and we were the two guys that clicked in that band, and then he quit the band, then I quit the band.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, I started this project and this thing's going to heck. And I ditched that, and we got together and started working. And that's the thing, he's really the longest person in my band, because I've been doing this for a long time. I just could never really find people.
Yeah.
I had like the worst time. I would tell people, show them the music. I had somebody pretty much tell me that, dude, you're just making this up. You took somebody's music. I can prove this.
Well, that's weird. It's like, yes, I am just making it up. That's what music is.
And that's the thing. A lot of stuff. I made this, but you're not. Yeah,
you thought you were stealing somebody else's songs or something?
No, just like pretty much. I had a couple times people tell me that bullshit. This can't be you, and there was never even a chance to prove this or anything. But in the end, I've never seen these people do anything in town.
Yeah,
because on a daily basis, you run into the kids and I like death metal. I play guitar. Well, let's get together and jam. I want to do this.
Yeah,
it should be that simple, right? This is how it would end. He had my number. He said he was going to call. Then I would run into these people, and they just would never talk to me again sometimes. And other people, well, I'm doing this band. You could have told me. But then I ran into Steve, and we're doing this now. But the scene is really different, and there's not a lot of people left, at least in Muskegon.
Nah, I know. It's the scene in Grand Rapids for metal is non-existent, and I'm not like metal like you are, more prog, but prog metal, But even that, I mean, like here and in Muskegon too, everything's just like the only music scene is just about like playing breweries on acoustic guitars and shit. And that's like it, Like Detroit actually still has a pretty banging metal scene.
I've seen that.
And actually a bunch of my friends' bands are fucking playing tomorrow night. Fucking our homies in Finality and Imminent Sonic Destruction.
Right.
And Among These Ashes, who I've worked with, they're all fucking playing tomorrow night. Big show, And it's kind of like, fuck, man, like there's just no metal happening here at all.
Pulling down that metal scene for the whole state, for sure.
For real, man.
See, because one of the other things, when I go to Mexico, there's a scene going on in Monterrey that there's a bunch of bands There's thrash metal bands, heavy metal bands. You know, forget the cover bands; those are always there. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
But here they actually have black metal bands, death metal bands, and they all play constantly. There's a bunch of bars. Some of these musicians, I already saw them in one band, then see them in another band. Like, so you guys are, we're in this band and in that band. And, and it goes, and they're constantly. I'm seeing things. Here in Michigan, in my Facebook, I have all my friends there, so I'm constantly seeing all the activity, what goes on there, and I'm like, nah. And they even told me, you know, there's talks about me going down there to play.
Come down, dude.
Bring me and Steve, and we'd figure that out. But no, they even said, if your drummer can't make it, we'll find one that would fill in for the show. Which I'm like, wow, really? I'm like,
nice. You gotta like that, yeah.
But there's a way much stronger community in a third world country. Imagine that. I'm seeing that.
That's true. And like I was saying, dude, the fucking up and coming fucking metal spot, I think, is fucking Mexico. And you know, like the metal scene in Latin America in general has just fucking really, I don't know, it's taken on, it's like taking on a life of its own finally.
That's
like
what exactly is going on, especially like going to Monterrey now every year for the Mexican Metal Fest. It's big now. It was a day. Now, after the pandemic, they made it 2 days, and it was just 2 days. I saw a bunch of my heroes that I never thought I'd see in my life. There was people from all over the world. All countries were there. That spoke volumes, I thought, because I ran all kinds of people. Europeans, Latin America, other Americans, and it was like, wow. And all the bands they brought, the lineup, mainly European bands and from the States, but still, I was like, this was incredible. It was
right.
This year's no different.
I talked about Opeth a little bit. You fuck with Opeth at all?
I've heard some of it. Some of it's all right, the early stuff.
Yeah, well, the early stuff would be more Your Speed because it started off pretty death metal from, but you know, out of Scandinavia.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is the rhythm section for that band, who I consider to be one of the greatest rhythm sections, drums and bass ever of their. Basically their kind of bigger early albums, which are like my favorite, like Ghost Reveries, those ones that we love. But those guys I think they're both Mexican. They moved to Sweden to join that band.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So like there's even that connection there where you could say like Opeth is probably one of the biggest, maybe the biggest like death metal-esque band out of that region. Half of them are Mexican, Martin. They're both named Martin Mendez and Martin Lopez, and one of those guys isn't in the band anymore. That was a long time ago now, but like it's just like another interesting thing to me that like like you think of Sweden, like, oh, we got the best fucking death metal and black metal players in the world out here in Norway and whatever, but like
just poaching dudes from Mexico and throwing it down.
Yeah. The one dude plays in that band Soen now. You up on Soen and all? You guys ever catch them? They're kind of like it's a little bit kind of Toolish. It's kind of like a groove metal. Soen's
super
just
badass.
Yeah, dude, badass. Yeah, he plays in that band now. Yeah, it's cool shit, you know. Yeah, man, I really like the fucking Opeth is my shit, but that early Opeth, you know, like the earlier stuff. But I like metal coming out of that area of the world because for me it combines the heaviness and the darkness, but there's also a melodic side to it I really like. So that to me just kind of checks all my boxes, you know.
It's almost like most of their music, if you looked at it, it sounds like movie music. There's a movie that shows a story that comes with
cinematic.
It. All of a sudden, there's something that when they make videos, it's great for it. There's this great storyline, and you just kind of you get lost in whatever it is that they do. You know, if it's either prog, heavy metal, the death metal, the black metal. There's all these different genres. They go into different things, different topics.
Yes, and I enjoy
There's
that.
a mystic part of it, I think.
There is. Yeah, I like the progressive aspect of music, which means that you go into different areas and you never really know what's going to happen and shit. You know, I find that I don't know, I've always been attracted to that aspect of it.
I like my metal like my women, Swedish and heavy. That's all I
do
you play like lead guitar too? Do you solo and stuff?
I just started doing it recently because I really focused on mainly riffs. the thing with my band originally, I didn't want solos. I was kind of doing the Fear Factory thing. No, just straightforward riffs and just riff, and add things to it.
Yeah.
But
also a Mexican fella, right?
Dino
Yeah.
Casares.
Yeah.
Or
Fuck
Casares, as they said, depending who you ask.
I don't know a ton about them. I know of them. Yeah.
Yep. So with that, I just recently started the progress so much that I found time and spot in my newest recording. I put a solo on for the first time, and I did it. And I said, okay, I figured this out, so I'm starting to work more on that.
Cool.
I figure they do it from time to time because I'm really definitely into the songwriting and how those riffs.
Yeah. There generally seems, and it always has been the thing in metal where there's, you know, the kind of rhythm guitarist and then the lead guitarist, you know, kind of thing. So it's not unusual to be separated in those disciplines a little bit, for sure.
Because for me, as a songwriter, my influence is definitely James Hetfield because he was such a riff person.
Yeah.
That's where Max Cavalera from Sepultura, they all had the riffs, riffs.
Yep.
And then definitely Dino, when he put in perspective, low tuning, 7 strings, and I was obsessed with that. At the time, nobody said baritone. So I just went and bought a 7-string.
Yeah.
Years later,
yeah.
you could have bought a baritone. Oh, okay, whatever.
A 6-string baritone?
Yeah.
I have one if you want to try it.
Yeah, no, definitely, because I started buying 7 strings and tuning down the G, and I started getting
I don't love
obsessed with
7
that.
strings, but I'm a much simpler player in what I do. But yeah, I really do love my 6-string baritone, though.
See, and I know a lot of people were doing that, but because I wanted such a heavy tone, but in actuality, I'm a person that just really plays rhythms most of the time.
Me too, really.
But I got to the point where I started to venture in it because I do like solos.
Yeah.
So I said, okay.
That's why I do pentatonics.
And see, I will venture into a lot of minor because I'm obsessed with it. That I do a lot of Spanish minor type things, and
love
that's
that.
the work I do. When
Do you ever fuck with a nylon string classical guitar?
But I've been wanting to buy
You
one.
should. I also have one of those. If you'd like to try it, or if you ever need to borrow it for your recording, you are welcome to, because it sits there, 99% of the time being untouched.
Yeah, no, I've been wanting to get an acoustic.
They're
in the
fun,
nylon.
man, and it would, for what you're talking about and who you are, man. You should look into that. And, it's an eye, but I've had 3 or 4. I actually finally, I've had different ones, and I finally was like, all right, I got to get one that really plays well. So I got rid of all the junk ones, and I bought myself a new. I rarely buy a new guitar, but it's just a mid-level, but it's an Ibanez. It was $500, but it's like, this is a real guitar that stays in tune. The action's good. I can actually fucking play this thing instead of like the fucking nylon strings being 1.5 inches off the goddamn fretboard, and shit.
That's the thing.
I gotta fuck with that,
I've
I
seen
love the
guitars
sound of
like
a
that.
nylon string, though, dude. I love that shit, man.
Oh yeah, it's really
So
nice and
shows.
soothing. It's you get a nice sound out of it. It's fun. No, definitely.
Do you know Rodrigo y Gabriela, that group?
Yeah.
You know who they are?
I had to think about it for a moment.
They're an acoustic duo,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Mexican,
Yep.
from Mexico City, I believe, that play a lot of metal covers, but in nylon string instruments,
I
and
didn't
it's
know
just the
that
2
part,
of
but
them. They
I
do a
know
bunch of
about 'em.
Metallica, a bunch of and they do original, and they do all that too.
See,
but
I've just heard the originals.
yeah.
I didn't know about the cover.
Pretty
part.
sure a big part of their fucking tune sound and how they got big was and they used to play like literally like busking, they'd just be out there like and so that they'd be doing Metallica and shit, like doing these like but in classical style. I saw them live at I think it was actually at Bonnaroo that we were arguing with Mike about last night or
Those
last
guys are
week.
badass, man.
Yeah.
It's super fun to watch
Yeah.
them too. Play like the visual aspect of it, throwing it down.
Yeah. You should definitely just check them out. It's worth a check out. Let's see what the fuck they're doing. Yeah. Tony,
What's up, man?
blaze that shit,
I'm
bro.
still here.
You
You
all
right?
right? What the fuck you working on, son? You been fucking working on some shit with Jay, or what's going on?
Dude, well, recently, so back in 06, I dropped one of my first projects, just, with a couple other buddies that helped me put this project together, and me and Jay linked back up with him a few weeks ago, and we did a collaborative effort with Jay and my other former producer. They collabed on the music.
Cool.
And then me and his current artist collabed on the song.
Yeah.
So we were able to knock out a couple tracks, man. Pretty dope. We haven't released them officially yet, but other than that,
Right.
me and Jay still working. We got a lot of stuff we're gonna work on here.
Yeah.
So
He told
shout
me
out
you got,
to shout
shit
out to
in
my
the-
boy MCI, Exit Door Production.
Yeah, he told me you guys got shit in the fucking works. I was chatting with him here a couple days ago.
Yeah, he wanted to take a little mental break for a minute, which, you know, if you do music, you know, you need to do that every now and then.
Oh, 100%. He's a hard-working fool too, man.
Yeah,
he
man,
fucking
you know,
puts in the work.
And we put in a lot of work together over these last few years. So, you know, he needed a little break, but, you know, we'll be back in the studio. We got a couple of videos that we're gonna shoot, you know. So
you guys have been working on it. You last time you were talking about doing that shit with those wrestlers or whatever.
Yeah,
that's still in the works.
Yeah, that's still on his list. Actually, when we last spoke, that was what he brought up. He said, "Hey, man, we gotta sit together and storyboard this video," and I'm like, "Sweet, let's make it happen."
Yeah, see, that's what I love about that guy, and that's why he and I get along, dude. Is he's like, let's storyboard that shit, dude. What are we gonna do?
Oh yeah, bro. He's got a whiteboard and he writes down everything, and then we gotta check it off weekly and see where we're at with our goals that we're working on.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to fucking hear your new shit, dude. I really liked that last song that we played on here, dude.
Oh, appreciate that, man.
Badass,
Definitely, we definitely got some more shit like that in the works.
Why don't you fucking get up on fucking your cousin's shit here, dude? Throw it on that bridge, do a fucking rap on the fucking bridge, dude. Bring it in. Bring it in. What the fuck? I'm putting it together right now, boys. What's going on here?
You know,
20% of whatever profit you guys make out of that shit.
I grew up around this guy, so like he introduced me to a lot of metal bands that I would have never known about if it wasn't for him, and you know, so. You know, I know, hip hop's not his thing, but at the end of the day,
bring it together, son. I mean, you're talking about fucking. There's lots of crossover there. You talked about Anthrax. They got all that shit.
He put me up on Rage. No. You know, Rage Against the Machine.
Well, I was gonna bring up Rage too because we were talking about noise guitarists, and I'm like, well, kind of the ultimate like noise guitarist.
And then like the first Limp Bizkit, you know, when they were still kind, a little bit more heavier than they got more hip hoppy, but. Yeah, all that shit, dude.
See that 30-year thing, man. Give it like 5 more years, baby. That rap metal's gonna be coming right back around again. You guys be on top of the game.
I mean, like
Cesar, don't sleep on the collab with your cousin here, bro. Bring him in on a song.
I mean,
man.
I've talked to him more about collabing on some skits and stuff because I mean, this dude. He's being a little quiet.
Or bring in the fucking bring in a death metal lick on that fucking rap, yo. That's fucking it. You guys, I mean, Jay's a fucking death metal guy too, dude. You know, bringing it together.
That I wouldn't probably do, to be honest, because it wouldn't. Because I've heard people in the hip hop community, they hate metal. They don't like some people said anything with distorted guitars, and the whole metal thing. But in my side, it's the same thing. I don't want to hear rap. I want death metal. I want metal. That's the thing I already seen on both sides. In Mexico, they're too hardcore that they don't like a lot of stuff like new metal. There's a lot of them that don't like it.
Old school die.
That's what a lot of new metal really was a combination of that.
And it is. And see, I'm into it and everything, but I've seen those things to where I kind of go, okay, well, I'm willing to do something, but I know at my side it wouldn't kind of cross over, I guess. That would be the only thing. And then I already know that on the other side, somebody's not going to like that. I guess that's how I look at it and go, well, I would probably do something else than growling, I guess. That's why, I do the voices, so I do would do voiceovers, and I did that on my demo. So skits and stuff we were talking about because I'm fluent in Spanish, so I can mimic a lot of characters if I could.
Yeah. Now I'm going to challenge you a little bit. I'm going to call bullshit on a little bit of this. That if somebody's like, I don't like this in hip hop or I don't like that, honestly, they can kind of go fuck themselves. Artists should do whatever they want. And if you want to combine different styles, I'm not some big fucking new metal fan. I don't love it, but like I'm just saying, like there's a funness though to it, and there's a lot of great music that's happened by. I mean, the biggest hit song in whatever was that fucking. Old Town Road or whatever, which was a hip hop and country crossover that was based on a 9 Inch Nails song. You know what I mean?
Really? I didn't know that.
You know Old Town Road, Lil Nas X?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but I didn't know it was based on a 9 Inch Nails
song. That
is
literally a 9 Inch Nails track from his Ghost record that was an instrumental record. They stole, did not pay for. This is how fucking cool Trent Reznor is. I may have told this story already on the podcast, but I love Trent Reznor so much. They're like, yo, this song is the biggest thing in the world right now. It's your song. They didn't fucking pay you for it. And he basically says, do whatever you got to do to protect me legally, but don't stop this. Yeah. Go ahead. Like, take it.
Wow.
Reznor's living large on that Apple money, baby.
Care, dude. Yeah, like, and it was already instrument. It wasn't like they took Closer or like their biggest song. It was like, and so he's just like, and it's so funny to me. Trent Reznor, who's one of my favorite artists of all time, producer, all that shit, has 2 country music awards. The guy who's the ultimate fucking industrial metal dude.
That's crazy. Wow.
2 for
Did he get something for Hurt?
For Hurt,
Okay.
for writing, Hurt, and the Johnny Cash, of course, did.
Wow.
That was, just an unbelievable version of that song. So
yeah, that one's a good cover,
dude.
right there.
Gives you chills every time, right? I mean, come on, dude. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, all I'm talking about is like, hey, come in here. We'll put it together. I got you.
He's
not loving the idea at all.
That's a hard pass over there.
He's hardcore, man. But that's the thing that I like about Cesar. You know what I'm saying? Like he sticks to it, and it's authentic. It's all real shit. That's why he's able to make the kind of music that he can.
That's the thing too, is if you're not feeling it, then don't do it. If you are feeling it, then do it. Like don't ever not be yourself. Especially with music. But I do like some. I do like some fucking rap that's got a little bit of like. I actually really like when there's a little bit of fucking distorted guitar or something on a rap song, dude. Like I fucking dig that.
Dude,
song.
I got a few tracks. I have to send you something like that.
Yeah.
'Cause I got a lot of songs that are like that. We never put out. A lot of shit that I just did on my own inside my own house and never see the light of day. But
I think that's actually where fucking and we joke around about everybody is, but I think that's actually where ICP fucking kind of struck a chord. There was some of that fucking like metal guitar that was kind of worked into the beats and shit like that. You know what I mean? And
that whole genre was just birthed here in Michigan, basically. All that,
Detroit Rock City, man.
The Juggalo, but I would just say more like the horrorcore rap music is like all right here. It started in Michigan. It's a Michigan thing.
Maybe not the best claim to fame, not the coolest thing in the world. So we got
but like what I like about music is I like the cult followings of certain genres. Like the DMX fan probably doesn't know about Twisted Insane and those guys like that. But it's just they got their own following. There's artists that I listen to that none of the major hip hop medias will ever cover them, but they have a huge fan base and people love them and follow them and they get their stuff tattooed on them. It's like dude, like one of the biggest hip hop, the most tattooed music symbol is from this hip hop artist named Psycho Realm, and they have a gas mask with almost like a fedora on. Oh yeah, and this gas mask is like the most tattooed one of the. I think next to the Wu-Tang emblem, it was like the most tattooed thing from like a fan following that. But you'll never hear about these guys, and they're freaking amazing though. Dude. They're freaking awesome artists.
Do you know? I think it's Prof is the dude's name. I'm good. I'm straight. Prof.
Yeah,
I think he's a newer guy.
The white guy?
Yeah.
Yep.
One of my friends that I don't know him real well, but one of my fucking homies is he's like following him on tour right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's like I'm gonna be fucking out on tour with him basically.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. I've seen him pop up and he's been like around some some major artists, but I'm not really familiar with him.
He sent me like 10 of his songs. This my homie.
He's funny though too, right? Like
he's got like super funny
songs. And it's also
videos are really fun.
Some of it's almost like singing, like he kind of does this like kind of jazzy thing too, which I really like too. So he brings in a lot of different elements, and it is like there's a humorous. It's not all humorous. He gets serious.
It's
too,
a big commitment to follow around on.
I know.
I'm not throwing it down for Prof that hard one.
Are you guys familiar with Harry Mack?
No.
Oh,
no.
So Harry Mack is a freestyle rapper.
Okay.
And basically his claim to fame is he'll come up to you and hey, give me 3 creative words, and his whole thing is to work those words.
Oh, he's a huge YouTube guy, right?
He'll do these videos on Omegle where he'll sit there and come across these people and get their reactions after. And dude is freaking amazing.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
I heard him
crazy.
on a podcast and they were throwing him lines.
He's just so creative. He's so creative, and his cadences are so different for every freestyle, but it's all off the top of the head, all improvised.
You see shit like that, dude? Hit me with it, man.
Dude, it's fucking awesome. Bro.
Be able to think that quickly on the fly and make it all fit and just.
That's not even the hard part though, because I could fucking freestyle for you if I wanted to, right? But being able to make it sound cool, make it sound good, you know.
Right.
And it just,
yeah.
And that guy like has done it the best. You know, I mean, there's a lot of good freestyle rappers. There's a guy named Supernatural, and like I said, these are guys that never had hits, never reached like, you know, what you would call like hip hop iconic, but they're known, and these are the people that we like will consider, you know, the best rappers, right? You know?
I mean, Eminem kind of started as that in a way. I heard Eminem the first time I heard Eminem. He was on some radio show at like 5 a.m. This was before he blew up, and it came on. You know how you could set your alarm to wake you up to the radio?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's still a thing. It probably, you know, but like that's what I had. And I must have been in it 6th grade or something like that. And there's this fucking guy, and they literally just like played him a beat, and he just fucking freestyled over it. And then like maybe a year later, you know, he was the biggest thing in the world. You know, so like, and you would know more. I don't know if he's better of these guys or not, but what I wanted to ask you though was, I've always felt that a lot of the time people are like, I'm freestyling. I'm like, no, you're not. You already wrote that
in the bag,
you know, like, well, you know,
the way they explain it is like, you know, what, like our conversation is a freestyle, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm going to say, but we've said this before, right? Not probably the same exact thing. And a lot of times that's what a freestyle can be. It doesn't necessarily have to be something right off the top of your head, but you have these certain rhymes that you've said and these certain words that connect, right? And you can puzzle different stuff together, and it's you know, it's just like
piecing some of it together.
And some of it is, you know, right off the top.
So you kind of got a couple hooks, and if somebody drops these 3 words, you kind of mix that shit.
You know, this rhymes with that, and you know, so you can get yourself from, because you know these 2 words rhyme, and you can just pull those into a subject.
But even with that, to pull it together on the fly,
yeah, it is. And I'm not talking about these guys specifically. I'm saying more like just kind of in general in the history of like rap, that I've seen stuff like even like these legendary freestyles, and I'm watching and I'm going, he's not making that up on the fly. He definitely knew that.
A lot of that stuff, you know, and I guess the reason they would call it a freestyle is because it's a cappella. It's not in the studio. It's, probably not even recorded yet, right? So these guys will spit these raps that they've already walked around with.
But to me, that ain't the same thing. Freestyle and acapella ain't the same thing.
No, not at all.
In my view,
not at all. And it's not easy, you know. But, it's easy to rhyme a bunch of words, but it's not easy to make it sound cool. You know what I'm saying? And
I have heard through the grapevine that it is hard to rock a rhyme. I have
hard
heard
to rock a rhyme.
You know that? That's Run DMC, classic Run DMC song.
No, of course. Yeah. No, but then, you know, with that too, there's different parts of it. You know, like some people like extra lyrical rap. Where they don't give it. Or then some people want a beat. They want the dope production. Yeah. And then you got the people who want the gangster rap. Right, and then you want the guys that got the
trap all 3.
Rap. Yeah, dude. Like, you know me, like I like the '90s, obviously the early '90s, early 2000s. That was my era of rap, and
I still think it hasn't. That's the peak to me, as far as I'm concerned, dude. I have been fucking a lot with Anderson .Paak lately, though, dude. Yeah. And I got into him from that Silk Sonic shit, which I keep talking about because I got such a boner for these fucking guys.
But he's more than a rapper, though, man.
I know.
That guy's
that's what I love
percussionist, about him. A singer. He can do
producer.
Yeah, he can do everything, man. That guy's really talented.
So from the Silk Sonic stuff, I went down the rabbit hole. I was very familiar with Bruno Mars, but I didn't know a lot about Anderson. Yeah. And he's an Aftermath artist, which I didn't know either.
Yeah. So he was like dropped as just a rapper. He was just a rapper, and then when he
came from SoundCloud, I think.
Yeah,
blew up on fucking SoundCloud.
He was part of so every year, and so there's this hip hop magazine. It used to be like one of the most respected hip hop magazine until it turned into like just a internet blogging site.
Out or something. Yeah.
So they would do a thing called the Freshman, and they would gather like 10 of the hottest rappers that came out within that year. Yeah. And these are the next breaking artists that are gonna blow up, and that's where Anderson .Paak kind of stepped in, and then he didn't really get like big like an artist, but he was working with a lot of big producers writing songs,
including Dr. Dre.
Yeah, of course.
Playing drums on all that shit. He played drums with Dre at the Super Bowl there.
Yeah, that was him. Yep.
Oh no, shit. Okay.
Yeah, and that's why fucking I think him and Bruno Mars clicked on so many levels. They both play all these instruments and all this shit. Yeah. Did you guys hear? This is actually something I'm glad we're talking about it. Did you guys see there's going to be a 30th anniversary of Doggy Style concert? in LA. It's like a 3-night event produced by Dr. Dre. It's like all in, like Dre and Snoop, 30th anniversary, Doggy Style.
Wow.
And it's going to be with the LA Orchestra.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. So I'm like, shit.
Might be worth a trip
I
out
know.
there.
Now
dude.
might be the
That's
time
kind
to
of
fly
fun.
to LA,
that
dude.
was like one of the biggest bummers like of a Snoop Dogg concert, because for a long time he wouldn't perform those songs.
Yeah.
He wouldn't perform the original like Doggy Style hits or the Dogfather hits. He wasn't making no money off it. So he was like, fuck that. I'm not gonna.
And now he owns Death
Yeah,
Row.
dude. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Hoping to get a healthy dose. We're going to catch a Snoop concert at Pine now, dude.
Yeah.
Get a healthy dose of that Doggy Style.
Which brings me
Got it
to the
back.
current controversy. You guys up on this a little bit? Is fucking, it's like Suge Knight from prison has been talking all this shit about how Dr. Dre didn't actually produce Doggy Style and that he forced Daz Dillinger into signing away his rights to that record.
Here's the deal.
Okay.
So I'll try to break it down for you guys. So Dr. Dre is a great producer. He's got a great ear. He's a great mixer, right?
Yeah.
I would compare him to like a Quincy Jones.
Yeah, I understand.
Right? So he don't play everything, but he knows how to put everything together.
Daz
right?
did make a bunch of the
Daz
beats on
was
that
the
record.
Daz, no, but not just Daz.
Yeah.
There's DJ Quick. DJ Quick, Daz, and then there was another guy. And I don't think Johnny James was it Johnny James. Johnny, anyways, he was a producer for a lot of Tupac stuff, but he did a lot of Death Row artist stuff. Those were
and
the guys.
Daz did a bunch of those Tupac beats too.
Daz did like fucking half the album.
I understand that. I totally understand. So Dr. Dre is basically more of an executive producer on those projects.
Yeah.
Those guys, it's like they start, it's like there's a beat, but Dre turns it into a song. It's a collaboration of a lot of people.
Exactly.
So, but what
Dre-
Suge Knight's saying, though, is that Dre didn't do any of that and forced like Daz into and signing away shit and all this shit. Have you seen this at all?
Yeah. But the thing was, back then they didn't know the business. They were all young guys in their early 20s. And, you know, they didn't know nothing about the music business. So they get a few $1,000s from Suge and they're signing contracts. You know, I don't think it's Dre trying to fuck them over. It's just like they were all making bad deals. Yeah. That's why ultimately he left. Hooked up with Jimmy Iovine. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know.
There's all that, but it also is Suge Knight just making stuff up.
Yeah.
And
well, of course,
that's basically what I'm getting at is Daz has released this video. Did you see this? He put up a video on his fucking social and shit. And it was just like, he's literally going, and I actually pulled it up here if you guys want to watch it. We don't have to, but he's literally going, none of this is true. Dr. Dre is the greatest producer in the world. Yeah, I made some beats, but fucking I didn't sign nothing. Suge Knight's up his ass. None of this happened. Everything's cool.
Right. You gotta see the position that Suge is in. Of course he's gonna.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like,
and he's all salty that his label is now owned by Snoop. You know.
I mean, I think it's in the rightful hands, though.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, even more rightful hands to me would be Dre, but he's not interested in owning that label. I don't think.
No.
I mean, Snoop didn't own after.
So from what I heard, somehow Hasbro Toys had got ownership.
Yes, it was basically an investment company that
inherited the ownership of Death Row somehow.
What they were doing is basically you could buy. It was like a clearinghouse. It's like there's a lot of little labels that weren't really solvent. They were not, like Death Row hasn't had a fucking hit record for 20 years.
Right, but it's a brand, so
it's a brand that had those fucking 3 big records back in the day. It ain't done shit since. And so there's there's ownership to that. So what these big like conglomerate companies would do is basically as an investment, they would buy these little record companies, and it's like it's the same way that like artists are selling their rights in lump sums and shit. It's all these it's almost like a portfolio.
Okay.
And so they're just like a clearinghouse of they probably owned fucking petroleum companies and shit too, or like you're saying, it's Hasbro and what's the parent company, all that. So they had some fucking random ass, and all it was there was just like a skeleton crew of some dudes that were handling like the day to day of you know, like if orders got to be filled or whatever. But like Death Row hasn't been like a real label for a long time, you know. So that's how Snoop was able to basically come in and buy that out from that company to own those rights now.
And now you can just market Death Row,
Yeah,
you know,
so-
off the nostalgia.
Yeah,
the nostalgia.
and now it's back into fucking hands of, you know, and that's, you know, Doggy Style still for sure his biggest record.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
he had a really good run. I think a lot of people don't pay attention though, but his run with No Limit was fucking dope.
Great.
I think
his new stuff is
new shit's
arguably some of the best
badass.
shit he's
Yeah,
ever
super
done, bro.
No Limit Top Dog is one is one of the most underrated Snoop album. I mean, he's got so many bangers on there. It's freaking ridiculous.
The game is to be sold,
Yeah,
not to be
dude.
told.
Man.
Dude, I remember like when those albums used to drop, I would go buy them and I would throw them in and I'd have to listen to them all the way from start to beginning.
Such a different feel though, beat wise.
It
and
was.
everything
Oh,
with
yeah.
all the Master
didn't-
P influence and shit.
I didn't appreciate it at the time. Because it was so different.
Yeah.
That like
Yeah.
at the time I was kind of like, for me, I was like, this is not.
Well, and
what
also
I'm feeling.
semi on the heels of Doggy Style. Like that's
Oh,
my
yeah.
fucking
Right.
favorite
Couple
hip hop
years
album
later,
ever,
yeah.
and the beats
Yeah.
are so different. It's like, well, this is a lot to kind of.
Were you like into
digest,
No
you know?
Limit and shit? Where you fucking got the
fuck yeah,
No
dude.
Limit sold? You
Dude,
had the tank on your.
So I don't know. Did you know that he came to Muskegon, right?
No.
Yeah, so back when he was
Master
doing
P did?
back when he was doing his Bout It run, he was performing anywhere he can, and he did a tour across the country, and a lot of the places that would let him perform there were high school gymnasiums.
Oh,
So he performed
yeah.
at the Heights High School Gymnasium And came to town and did it. And that's,
we got Master P right up here. Did you see we were eating rat snacks a couple episodes ago again? So
Oh
that's
shit, yeah, that's what's
we
up.
got the
Yeah.
Master P fucking.
Nah, dude, I was big into Master.
One of the albums I'll still go to war over, fucking that first Juvenile album with the Back That Ass Up song,
the
which got
400
way
degrees?
overplayed. 400
Fuck,
Degrees
yeah,
is
dude.
a huge album.
I got so
All
many
sorts
good memories of
shit,
just
yeah.
riding around jamming that song and fucking early Lil Wayne on there.
Super fun
Yeah.
beats and stuff.
Dude,
yeah, dude, that was
yeah,
where
that-
Wayne
that's
got his
definitely a
break pretty much.
classic,
Yeah,
yeah.
that shit's badass.
Yeah.
No Limit, throwing it down for the win.
Oh, that was No Limit too.
No, that was Cash Money.
Oh, what's Cash Money?
Yeah,
Was
Cash
oh,
Money.
Shit, okay.
Yep, that was Cash Money. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were real similar, but you know they were two separate things.
Yep.
Yeah, indeed. Fuck, man. We've been at it for a fucking while, guys. We might fucking think about wrapping it up.
Yeah, sounds cool, man.
You got fucking. So you got songs ready? They're coming out.
Yeah.
What can we look for?
The next song we're gonna drop is called "Speaking My Language." It's featuring an artist named Birdie from right here in Grand Rapids. Matter of fact,
Nice.
and it's produced by DJ Kickstar and the homie MCI Exit Door Productions. So you know that's the next track that we got coming out.
Nice. What do you think's going on with the band there, Cesar? You guys gonna be playing shows? You trying to do a record?
Well, we're just making demos. We got music online all over YouTube, Spotify, iTunes.
Where
It's
can people
all-
find that shit?
Just type in Fermented Plague, and like I said, Spotify, we're right there. YouTube, we could pop right up.
Fermented Plague may be the most fucking metal band name that's ever fucking
Pretty cute.
existed. dude.
Fucking toxic.
So just making demos and trying to play shows, definitely. And, you know, that's
Hell
all
yeah.
we got lined up for now, and keep making music. We're just going to keep making and recording because that's something we can do now.
Yeah, for
Nice,
sure.
man.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I didn't know that you had like shit online that we could
Yeah.
actually check out. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna be up all over that. And then this guy has a new song came out today or yesterday or something.
Oh, shit.
With Long After Midnight. It's called Uncertain Times. You guys can peep that
Nice,
out. There's a
nice.
music video that goes with it and whatnot.
Nice.
If you're into that
Badass.
industrial metal, you know, it's pretty terrible, but check it out. So yeah, all right, boys. Thank you guys so much for fucking coming out. It was a fucking awesome conversation, dude.
Thank you for having
Yeah.
us.
Appreciate you having us. It was nice drinking
Thank you.
Coronas and
Yeah,
talking
right.
tacos with
Dude,
you guys.
happy
Cinco
Dude.
de Mayo.
Yep, happy
You get me
Cinco de
talking
Mayo.
tacos or Chupacabra, you're gonna be here all night, son. That's what we do.
All right, fellas. Well, thank you for having us.
Thank
man.
you.
Peace.